That was abrupt.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know
right.
what kind of James Bond intro was that. I was
Yeah,
like,
man.
"Is this Skyfall? What's going on here?"
We got to keep it sexy for the viewers, you know.
I agree. Yeah, but yeah, Cap, I'm 100% with you on that. We gotta, like I gotta talk all the. I mean, I've said it before. The Punisher's all kinds of mentally fucked up, but I can go into that. He's a perfect case for somebody who wants to go. This is why violence in America should not be a thing.
For real.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
would
what's
love
up,
to do
everybody?
I would love to do
Yeah,
one on Superman. Yeah.
Shit. Yo, I'm telling you, I did the same shit you did, like 20 minutes. I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck him.
That's enough. Yeah, that's enough.
Word.
But it's ironic. I think the character you picked, I'm a big fan of, which is crazy.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't like it because of the cartoon, but we'll get it.
Got it. Understood.
What's going on, everybody? The Knucklehead Network presents Knucklehead Comics. We got Lay in the building. What's going on, Lay?
But chilling is going to be a difficult task, but I'm up for it. It's going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah. We also got Cap in the building. What's going on, Cap?
Not bad. Unlike you guys, I didn't need to do any research for my guys. So
shit. Show, as you know, is on he's on the way. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He was supposed to be here on time. Cabs can't make it. He's doing some undercover work, with the rest of the people in the government and all that other stuff. So, what up, Cabs? If you watch this later, you should have been here. But
we're gonna Amazon Prime are trying to figure out how to
correlate everything together.
Yeah.
Word.
Get his watch list ready to go,
But yeah, man, today we're going to subjugate ourselves to some torture because we're going to defend the characters that we don't particularly like. And this is all Lay's idea. So we're going to let Lay talk about the parameters of how this is going to go.
All right. So first and foremost, we have to, I want to give a little summary of why we're not fans of a particular character. So that way, when people see the level of that you are not a fan of this character, it'll make it so ironic for you to defend the character. You know what I mean? And, you can hit little tidbits on, like good things they've done or things that people would think is a good thing that they've done. You know what I mean? But to you, it's a double-edged sword. You're just sitting there like, shit, I don't want to do this. But yeah, that first summary of, why you don't like the character. And then from there, 2 or 3 notes, maybe 4 of what makes the character good. Just to see the agony in our eyes as we do it. And Cap, as before we got on, Cap came up with a great idea is to kind of do the opposite with your favorite character. And it's like, I have to demoralize and undefend a Punisher, which I do the opposite all the time to people. They go, how can you like him? I go, well, here we go. Now we got to, on the future episode, we'll do the opposite. But for now, I'm sorry, guys, but it should at least be entertaining and funny.
Yeah. Let's hope, because it was hard, man.
Tell me.
And I know for you it was hard. But all right, I'm just setting some stuff up here.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys want to just briefly say who you're defending?
Yeah, I'll let Cap open it up.
So we're jumping straight in.
Oh, give us a.
Just say, we can each one of us can say who we're doing it with and why we don't like them, and then from there we'll go around with the notes.
So I picked 2 just in case. So the main one is the Boy Scout himself, Superman. Yeah, Mr. I can do everything except fight magic and electricity and green rocks.
Yeah, those are big weaknesses, especially magic. Doesn't that mean Dr. Fate can beat him?
Yo, anybody who does a little bit of magic, Zartana can beat him.
Oh wow! Yeah. It's funny because I really like Zartana. So
dude, think of this, right? Mm-hmm. Him and Shazam go toe to toe, and Shazam can get the best of him. What is one of Shazam's biggest magical effects, he calls lightning. Lightning is not magic. That should exist in real world.
Right? What's
So,
the other, who's the other person that you?
yes. The other one, if we have time or whatever, however this goes, I picked the entirety of the Inhumans.
That was wow. I didn't see that one coming.
Well, because you can't just talk about one of them.
That's true. That's true.
Like there's a whole society about them.
Yeah.
And yeah, so these guys are Marvel's pointless heroes. And if you actually look about, I hate even to say this because now it's gonna make me sound like an idiot trying to defend it. But if you look at their system and how it's structured, the least powerful you are, the more you get shitted on.
Yeah,
It's their entire fucking system ranked.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's funny because they were supposed to be another version of the X-Men and wound up not being that.
yeah,
Hence the name Inhumans. But you already got mutants, so did you guys just double down on something? Did you try to?
pretty much. It was probably one of their ways of, yo, I like mutants, but we can't keep doing mutants. There's like 7,000 mutants. Well, why don't we just call them Inhumans? All right. Cap's gonna love that one.
I'll tell you this: one good thing that came out of the Humans was definitely Makala Khan. It was definitely Miss Marvel.
Okay,
it's a character that's very endearing, and but the funny thing is, it's not necessarily her being an Inhuman. It's who she is as a person that's endearing, the way she's written.
Okay,
so and it's just happens to be that's what she happens to be an Inhuman as well. That's what it is. Yeah.
If and when we get to the defense of them, I'll explain why they exist. Not from a corporate standpoint, but from like a story point or a storyteller's point of view.
Yeah. So,
I picked John Jones, the Martian Manhunter.
Oh, not the rapper?
Yeah,
not the rapper or the fighter. Or the fighter. Even though I could go.
Hey, it's ironic that he doesn't like two guys named John Jones.
Yeah, right.
Ironic in that part.
For real, that's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of shit that is just like I see in the cartoons and the cartoon movies, and even in the fucking Justice League or in the Supergirl. I'm like, oh man, what the fuck, bro? He's either the most misused character or he just sucks. Like, but I learned some shit, so I have some points to defend him. It doesn't help my case for not liking him, but it might help yours. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Who you got, Lane?
I have Cyclops.
Okay.
He is the Boy Scout that's not an actual Boy Scout. It's like the reason we love Cap being a Boy Scout is because Cap was always a Boy Scout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that he just got powers and became a better version of himself. With Cyclops, it's like he just comes off like a good douchebag, like, and then he has the balls to be arrogant and not be one of the most powerful mutants in the world. So like you shouldn't be that arrogant when you're not even a laser. It pushes people back. It's not a laser blast. It's not like Superman's heat vision, which I don't like either, but at least it's a heat vision. Like it'll cut through you. Like he has a brother a brother that literally can do that. That is not an optic blast. His little brother's cooler than him.
And the unsaid brother is even cooler than both.
Yeah, him too. Yeah. Here's the fun part, which I've never understood about Cyclops. Your father's a space pirate. Your son has a metal arm, is literally one of the coolest characters in all of comic books. And you suck. How did that skip a generation? Like everybody that's like when you go back to a family gathering and that one cousin shows you goes, how's he related to us? You know what I mean? That one guy, like, I don't understand how that works.
Yeah.
Metal arm, space pirate. I can literally control them. I'm one of the most powerful mutants in space ever. You know what I'm saying? And my little brother just to me, just has a cooler look to him. You know? And then there's you. Put your glasses back on. You're no threat. Don't worry about that.
For real.
Nobody's worried about you.
You would think he'd be able to like fucking cut people in half with that laser beam.
But that's the thing is when you find out what it actually is, because it gets portrayed wrong in a lot of medias. It's not. It can push you. It could go through things, but it can't cut it in half unless it legitly is like he has to be like really close. Within 50 feet, he can do it. If it gets further than that, it kind of gets weaker.
Wow.
Unless he has a Phoenix Force. But then again, if anybody has a Phoenix Force, they're, the next level,
Word. So, who are you going to be defending today?
Do I have to tell you or can I surprise?
Yeah. You have to tell us because we told everybody already who we are, and you missed the first fucking 10 minutes of the show where Lay already drawn out the guidelines of what this is supposed to be. And you come in here with your Yankees hat and it's blue. And you know the colors of the Knucklehead comic book podcast are blue and orange. So you're trying to win Cap's favor, which we understand this shit. But you still have to tell us.
Girl, fuck you, Mama Webble.
I'm gonna try to defend Vision. He's the person that I dislike the most.
It's kind of funny that you and Toe kind of have a different version of the same person.
Yeah.
They have a lot of similarities to them. You know what I mean? Like the power set, you know what I mean? Crazy.
Who does Toe have?
Do I have to tell you or can I surprise you?
No, it's too late now.
I knew he was going to do that. I was waiting for that.
I got John Jones, Martian Manhunter.
Wait a minute. John Bone Jones is in the MCU?
Yes.
First off, that's not even a Marvel character he named.
Yeah, he's from DC.
Oh, bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's Jean.
The name is the same though.
It's pronounced like French.
It's Jean.
Jean.
Actually, Jean is like John twice, but with Z's.
Yeah.
Jean. But you wanted him John Jones because you don't like him. That's perfect.
Jean-Claude Van Jones.
Yes.
Yo, sure. Is something disconnecting and reconnecting on your computer?
Not that I know of. Why?
Because I'm hearing the.
I keep hearing that too. No, it was bugging.
So is my system playing to you? My bad.
Yeah.
Shit, but I'm not watching the boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, right. Well, you're watching the.
It's the camera. You told me how to fix it because I got two cameras. One is malfunctioning. I guess it's too much power, you said. But anyways, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Right.
Why are you using two cameras? Are you on Twitch?
No, I've always had two cameras. The second one just stopped working.
No, all right.
Yo, it's all about angles, man. You need different angles to capture yourself.
You see?
That's it. That's his OnlyFans camera. We don't know about that.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Can I switch my guy to Show Enough? Who I'm defending?
Shit.
I would have to fight you on the actual Show Enough on that one. I love that guy.
Yeah, word. There's none of that.
I don't know what he wanted to be the master of in that movie, but whatever. I'm with it. Between him and total supremacy of what? What am I missing here?
Of Harlem.
Yeah, because it's funny. Nobody knew him either. They were like, who?
Word.
They were like, I don't know who this is.
Come up here and tell me to my face.
All 50 of y'all.
Yo, that's got to be the best line. How about any 50 y'all motherfuckers come down here and make me shut up?
With all due respect, they came.
Yo, no, they did.
All right, cool. I'm down.
Watch the face, nigga. Watch the face.
Any 50 y'all come down here and make me sit down and shut up. Then fucking the Black Bruce Lee, the guy from the police academy.
When your man took off his jacket and I saw the crop top, I was like, what? Why would you keep your jacket on, bro?
Yo, word. But yo, it was always crazy how my man is a kung fu master biting this dude's ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, the dude with the crop top, as my uncle would say, that was the style back then.
Don't mean you can't keep your jacket on though.
Word. Then you had the tranny. Not the
Yeah,
face,
yeah,
baby, not the face.
That's what Cab said.
Yeah.
Not the face, baby. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, you could have picked a more convincing one.
Yo, for real.
But you know something? So this is my theory. She was yelling, not the face, from her own experiences. She was like, look at this. That's why you don't,
That's a good one.
But keep your guard up.
Yeah, absolutely. Protect yourself at all times.
For real.
Victor Ortiz figured out the hard way with Mayweather.
Yo,
he caught him lovely.
You ain't lying about that one. Shit.
Yeah,
Give me a hug. Psych.
The word.
Psych.
That's a cheap shot. I go, no, the ref said, let's go.
Yeah.
You're cheap about that.
How many hugs does this man want? Like, yo, bro, this isn't your true love. You're fighting this dude.
Nah.
You just fucking straight up like uppercut headbutt this nigga, and now you want to hug him for life. Like, nah, bro. You got your one hug. You got your sorry. All right, let's get this. Let's get these hands now. And my man wasn't ready for the hands, so he got the hands.
Come on, B. In the hood, we got a dap. It's 3, 1, 2, and then the middle. Come on.
Nah, son.
Nah.
The only dab you getting is the dab of my nuts on your forehead if I knock you out.
Oh, he sure
Fuck
did.
Yo, for real. Fuck that shit. But speaking of nuts on the forehead, which one of y'all want to go first in defending that guy?
Yo, I so want to hear Show. Just because he got here so early, I want to hear Show go first.
Who, me?
Yeah, let's get Show first up in this.
Why you want the least prepared guy to go?
Because
you should have been here on time.
Yeah.
And dude, you should have been prepared. This is 2 weeks now.
Absolutely.
For real.
The thing is, I just got this yesterday. It's crazy.
Oh, no, you didn't. That shit's been put in the fucking chat. And it was said during the last time we was on the stream. Mm-hmm. So this information is 2 weeks old. It's actually 3 weeks old.
Okay.
So yeah, you're gonna have to start paying attention in class.
And for that, you do your book report first.
Yep.
Yeah. So you ready, Show? Because
exactly.
you guys set the stage. All right, let's do this.
Professor would do sir, there you go. Let's get him out the way.
Let's do this.
Crazy thing is, I think Vision is gonna fire me as his lawyer because.
Hold on, wait. Before you do this, Show,
man, fuck you.
No. I want you to understand how we're doing this. Yeah. Lay, if you want to do a quick recap of how you wanted us to do it.
Is you first explain why you don't like the character, and then you do 2 or 3 notes, like 2 or 3 reasons. You have 2 or 3 reasons to defend the character. Like you can tell us exactly why you don't. The first thing you do is like, yo, this is why I don't like this character. Then after that, you have to defend him as much as you can with at least 2 or 3 points. Nothing crazy, you know what I mean?
All right.
Pretty simple, right?
Pretty simple. I'm back. Good
start with why you don't like him.
Good thing you explained this. You see, Toe?
Yeah, because I knew you was about to go into some left shit, and I wanted you to be prepared.
But then you should have let me shine. You should have, and then we would have had a video. You fucked it up. Don't you ever stop me. I'm like DMX.
No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I feel this in itself is going to be a video.
Yes.
No. Do you know what's crazy? It might sound a little. You know what? Stuff I don't like about Vision. He's blind. In the comics, it seemed like he came out of nowhere. He's a rat. For real, he's a rat, my man. Yo, he was made to attack the Avengers, right? And then he started talking to the Avengers. And I don't know what happened. Somebody convinced him that, he started feeling that he shouldn't be attacking the Avengers. So out of nowhere, he takes the Avengers to his fucking master. He a rat. Come on. I'll show you where the layer is. That's how it happened in the comic book. I don't know if beg to differ.
I'm gonna let you rock with this whole thing.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. This is on you, son.
He said, no.
I'm not gonna. No tagging in today.
We'll let you get
Survival
fact checked
series, son.
afterwards.
You
Oh,
alone right now.
Word. We'll get fact checked afterwards.
And I feel like he overshot when he got the witch. I think the witch could do better.
Well,
I don't
who's the
know.
witch?
The Scarlet Witch.
Okay.
Understood.
I was good. Like I said, I was looking for stuff to defend this guy, and most of the stuff I found, like I said, I incorporated into the reason I don't like him. At first, I didn't like him because he was bland. He was boring.
Oh, you said bland.
Yeah.
I think you said blind the first time. I was like,
No. Bland. He's just like,
I'm with Cap on that one. I thought you said blind too.
Nah,
I thought he was gonna say
bland.
black.
And then, like I said, he's always switching. Like I said, he started fighting with the Avengers. He switched over, took them to the layer to find Ultron. Then Ultron got him back and make him a new body. And I'm guessing something happened and the Avengers got him back. This guy keeps switching. What the hell? What's wrong with this guy? Is he easy to control or something?
You tell us. You got to defend him.
I am trying to defend him, but I can't. Ain't shit to defend.
You didn't find one positive thing about this motherfucker?
He has one of the stone in his head. That's a good thing. Not, I mean,
I'm so glad you went first.
Yeah, he's still breathing.
Hey, he's still breathing. But yeah, I'm trying to check with y'all. I'm not no professional.
No, we said this is you, man.
Well,
this is you, brother.
You got why I don't like him. I can't find nothing, no reason why to like him.
No, you better pull something out your ass.
The second part of this is going to suck for you because you got to defend him now.
Yeah,
the second
defend
part
him.
is going to be ass.
Listen, I'm going to defend him because he has a beautiful wife, beautiful redheaded wife. He was a great father. What the mission? Oh man, that's it. He's defended, acquitted. The glove don't fit. You must have quit.
Yo,
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Show, you just walked into court and went, Your Honor, my client is guilty, but come on.
Yep.
That was your
Pretty
whole
much. Pretty much.
Yeah.
You said, come on.
Come on.
Yeah.
Give him a break. You know.
We all know better than this.
Come on. Second degree murder.
Wow, okay.
But go ahead. Who's
so
next?
happy we set this up this way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yo, we're all gonna look like scholars.
Yo,
I mean, you put a high school student to play fucking basketball with Michael Jordan. Of course, I'm gonna look terrible next to y'all.
Here's the difference, Show. When we told that high school student 3 weeks ago, that student would have dribbled the ball at least.
I did dribble. I learned who Vision was. I learned what he did at the beginning in the comics.
1 second. Hold up. Let's go back to one thing. Sure, what the hell are you scratching? You have a hat on. Nobody else caught that? He just said.
Yeah.
I just saw you scratch the head with a hat on, by the way, and headphones, and a hoodie, too. Anyway, I'm sorry. As you were saying about the high school student who was told about the assignment 3 weeks before.
Exactly. No, go ahead. Let me see y'all dribble. Shoot.
Yo, that's it. That's all you got.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Vision doesn't have much.
Now here's the fun part. Cap, may you please go second. Sure. I just want to compare the difference.
All right. So
you doing Superman?
Huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I picked Superman.
Because show is so short, you can do both.
Yeah, you can do both.
You can literally do both.
And do Vision too.
And we'll have Lay defend Vision.
Yeah, I'll defend
afterwards.
Vision.
Yeah.
Fuck it, man. Why not? I'll do it.
All right, so we'll start with Superman. And we already knew. I gave a brief little synopsis about why I didn't like Superman to begin with, but I'll do a little recap because I think Show missed it.
Shit, I should have used the word synopsis. Yo, Vision had a synopsis on
It's
his
too
head.
late, Joe.
Damn
It's
it.
too late, Joe.
You're using it wrong, by the way. You started out you used it wrong.
Come on, man. This is why I told let them go first so I can get some fucking words to say correctly. You fucking up, Toe. Damn.
I'm fucking. Hey, you said, and I quote, "I'm gonna be there on time today."
I was.
First and foremost,
Whose time?
hold up.
Showtime.
Show. First of all, I picked the order.
Okay.
It's not Toe's fault. He asked me to do it. I said, all right, you go first.
Yeah.
I pick Cap second. If it's anybody's fault, it's yours for not being prepared.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm sorry. You were Cap.
Oh, my bad, Cap. I'm bad.
And
Had a synopsis. I'm going with that one.
even if you had only a day to prepare, 24 hours is enough to find one thing that makes Vision some kind of good, useful. Like you didn't. I'm not even gonna fucking try to help you. Go ahead, Cap.
So, on that note, I picked Superman because for me personally, Superman is one of those characters that is the most popular character in the world because the symbol of him is actually better than the character itself. Writers have been giving him all weird, crazy, stupid ass powers. He's got stupid ass weaknesses. He's got stupid ass villains he's got to fight. And he's uninteresting to me. And now to defend him. Superman was created by two Jewish writers whose names I apologize, I'm slipping on. But you can all look it up who wrote Superman. The original intent with him was they took all the bullying and all the shit that they've been getting their whole lives, found a job as cartoonists, and they came up with a hero who was the pinnacle, the most powerful, the one you can't bully. And they essentially wrote that as like a way to go through their emotions and their feelings and work out everything that was going on with them through this comic to inspire and to give people an outlet to turn to in their lives that were getting bullied. The original power set for Superman, he's faster than a speeding bullet. He can leap a tall building in a single bound. He had super strength, but he wasn't like Omega level strength. He pretty much bulletproof. All this was the start of the imagination of what you can make a character do. We discussed this prior in not so good terms, but I believe if we go back and look, I defended his relationship with Lois Lane.
Yeah.
It is probably one of the best, if not the best, relationships in comics. He is definitely a symbol of hope. He is definitely a symbol of power. The S on his chest is the most recognizable symbol out of any symbol that any comic book character has ever had. He's got primary colors, the red, yellow, and blue, which on the surface just looks like a cool color combination. But at its core, every single color is made from red, yellow, and blue. So you can take any combination of them and make whatever you want. So he is essentially a great canvas for writers to come up with new power sets and try them out on them. Because he is an alien from outer space who really knows the extent of what he can do and how our sunlight and our atmosphere changes his physiological form. So he's a blank canvas. He's like I said, he's a blank canvas. You could give him different power sets and see how they work, see how they function. People might say, "Oh, well, I don't like Superman having it," but that's a cool power that they can then give on to somebody else that they've worked out. He lends himself to extremely powerful villains, to which you can write a story where he's unleashed and just going full out 100%, like Doomsday or Darkseid. All right, but then he also teaches restraint because he does not go full out all the time because he knows he can't. And that's a lesson that sometimes gets lost in comics because it's all about the fun and the beating up bad guys and whatever. But the lesson of restraint is actually a good lesson to learn when you have so much power. He's a good father, with the exception to Connor, but he's a good father to his kids. He lends himself perfect to not a, alongside those strong, powerful villains. You can give him the weirdest villains you could think of and put him in situations where, like Mr. Mistleplex, where now it's a logic puzzle. And instead of hitting his way out, he now has to think and come up with different ways to win and different ways to, different ways to defeat an enemy that is not all about how hard he can hit, how fast he can move, how strong his heat vision is, which is something pretty cool. It's almost extensively a trait that he has. Not everybody has villains that are like so out there. What else? What else did I have? Trying to think. All of this I'm thinking on the fly because I also did not prepare, but I came a little bit more prepared than show.
Well, shit, you are more prepared than show.
Another thing that's good for him is the shit. I'm trying to figure out how to word this because him as a hero and like what he represents to everybody, he's kind of the entry point to comics. A lot of people, he's the most popular superhero in the world from last what I read. And that's because a lot of people's entry point is through Superman. The first hero they ever see is Superman. Shit, for Halloween, I was Superman one year, and then Toe Tags the next year, he had the costume. He was Superman. So, I mean, it lends itself to a variety of things. There's not a person on this planet, there's not a person on the planet that if you say, hey, I'm going to be Superman, they'll turn around and go, you know what? Here's a problematic thing about him. That's one thing you could say as a character. There is no problematic syndrome to him. There you go. Here's what I was gonna say. One of his main villains is Lex Luthor, who's a human, right? From Earth. He, of course, is an alien from a different planet. But the juxtaposition that he has taken to humanity and taken to our way of life. And his biggest villain is technically one of us, which we should all be on Lex Luthor's side. But the fact that he's shown that he's different, but he's accepting of the way we live and the way we are, it goes to show a little bit that despite how you think the world is working and despite how things look out, if he can look at us and find something to adhere himself to and something to, a reason to pick up the mantle for his hope, justice, all that shit that he says, then there's something that we can see within us that we can latch onto, that we can be proud of, that we can, take forward so we are not the villains in our own story. And I'll end it there for Superman.
All right. That was definitely a lot more than what show did, but
Show you're looking real bad right now, Show.
Yeah.
I set this up completely intelligently. You can also do the Inhumans because this one I really want to hear because it's hilarious.
Hey, you want me to, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, once again, a little synopsis on why I don't like the Inhumans. One, I honestly think they're a bit of a redundancy. The way they have their hierarchy and their social, path that they choose is really fucked up. The way if you really dig in and look at it, they don't seem to work for a TV show. Who knew? But so to defend, this is how I'm gonna go. So Marvel has mutants, which is the next evolutionary step for humankind. So we had the Neanderthals and the first Homo sapiens. They, grew and changed into us, what we have. Then we eventually change into mutants. And anybody who knows the Eternals, the humans were one of the creatures that were made by the Eternals and the fucking Celestials and all that shit. Inhumans are not an evolutionary tract. They're not the next step in us. They were essentially just humans that were experimented on and had this latent thing in them that has to be enacted in Terrigen Mist. So when you give them that, you actually put in a position where you have a nice discussion as to what evolution is and what, if you think about it, every single other hero in comics are. Because Captain America, human until given something that was enacted on, turn him into a super soldier. The Hulk, human until something was given to him, interacted on or acted on, turn him into a superhero. Iron Man, same thing. There's every Inhuman is the exact same thing without the weird science behind it. So instead of a gamma bomb, you actually take a trial. You take a mist. If you live and survive, you come up with mutant abilities or powers. Unlike mutants, where mutants have been trying to live among us, sometimes failing, sometimes succeeding, fighting with us, all that. The Inhumans actually found the Inhumans actually said, you know what? We're gonna take all the prejudice that we see the X-Men going through and other people and remove ourselves from it, make our own society, and live separate. And if you need us, we'll come down to help. If you fuck with us too much, we'll defend ourselves. But the fact that they were able to separate themselves out and actually form some sort of society that, yes, is a little problematic in the way they're essentially it's a caste system. If anybody's familiar with how India, I don't know if they still use the caste system, but that's a system they used to have, where everybody's at a certain tier, and you don't really move up and down depending on your power set. But for the most part, if you're an Inhuman, they do look after you. They don't really shun you out. They don't really do, you're not gonna get, unless you're really fucked up, they're not gonna boot you out of there. They have resources to help you if you get hit with Terrigen Mist, and like Miss Marvel, Kamala, she was hit with the Terrigen Mist, became Inhuman, unbeknownst to anybody, and they actually helped her out transition through some of her shit. So I mean, they have that system set up. Some of the coolest power sets come from there. Medusa, a little bit of a misnaming, but she can use her hair as like whips and tentacles and grab you from anywhere. We got Black Bolt, who, if he whispers, can shatter half the earth. So that's another thing, like Superman, a testament of restraint and power, and a testament of knowing that just because you can doesn't mean you should. We have a dude, his name starts with a K. I can never remember it, but he can literally see the weak points in anything in a wall, in yourself, in your defense, whatever, and attack it with pinpoint precision. Like I said, Kamala, Miss Marvel, she could tap into alternate versions of herself to give herself more mass. That's how she gets longer arms, bigger fists, stronger power. Like there's a whole myriad of things that they are useful for. When the X-Men had to go away because Fox owned them, and Marvel didn't want to give any more characters to Fox, they did step in nicely for the X-Men in the comics, and it was a natural transition because they are so closely related. It's essentially they are like Neanderthals and the Homo sapiens of the past world, where similar but different enough to be two completely different things. And it gives writers a freedom to do a book where you can come up with people who are born with certain gifts or acquire certain gifts at a certain age, but not have to be stuck within the world of the X-Men. So it's a little more freedom for somebody who wants to do that type of book. There's a little more freedom in knowing that there's something you could connect with, because where mutants are treated differently because they are different, the Inhumans are treated differently in Marvel, not because they themselves were different. It's because they were forced to be different. And there's a subsector of humanity that does feel like their treatment and their differences are shit that was forced upon them and not necessarily anything that was done of their own making. So, if you can find comfort in reading characters like this and gaining hope from that, that's always a good thing.
Okay. Oh man, when involved, show. I hope you took some notes, because I don't know, Lay. I think we might give Show like an extra try. One more try that actually he's seen the pro did.
I think we'll have enough time for that. We'll have enough time.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm so happy I structured it that way. It's awesome.
Oh yeah,
it's terrible but awesome. I just in a human show.
Yeah, you hit him with that miss, and he came back with no powers.
Absolutely correct.
You're muted, Show.
I forgot to mention.
My bad.
Not only did it give us Kamala, but Quake. Quake is an Inhuman, and she's actually not only a good character on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but she's actually, for the short amount of time that she was a fixture in the Marvel Comics, I don't know if she's been back since, but she was actually a big part of the Marvel Comics and actually a kick-ass character as well. That is another positive for her.
There you go. So they introduce some important characters into the universe. So that's something to hang your hat on.
Absolutely.
All right, Lay, who you want to go next? You want me to go next, or?
If you want, you can go. Yeah.
All right, I'll go next. Now, I'm not a expert on this shit like Cap is. I know a little bit about a little bit.
Nah, go ahead. Do your thing, sir. Nah, wait, no.
Girl, fuck you, Mama Webble.
Oh,
no. Whoa, somebody got a lot of energy for somebody that have much to say earlier.
Yeah, right? Yeah, right? That's crazy how a show wants to...
Had you put the energy into actually studying who you had to do, you could imagine how it could have sounded.
Oh, yeah.
See,
unlike you, Show, I'm not bullshitting my way through this.
Okay.
I'm just letting people know that I didn't grow up on, the knowledge that Cap and Lay has. So, my guy, John Jones, Martian Manhunter, which, fun fact, he's only been called once. Martian Manhunter. His name is John Jones. And I don't like him because in the cartoons, he seemed like one of the most useless characters. Because when I was introduced to him, it was one of those things where he was in his human form, as a detective because he moonlights as a detective to fit into the world. And they lit some shit on fire, and my man froze. And I was like, all right, he's afraid of fire. I get it. All right, cool. Fun fact, fire cannot hurt him. It only hurts him in his mind. Like his fear of it is what creates the pain. He does not feel pain from that fire. It's the fear of it that makes the pain. Also, my man can go through things, except for when he's restrained, apparently. He's from Mars, but can't breathe in outer space. You know, he gets electrocuted, which is another thing. Is like, how are you getting electrocuted when you can control your molecules? You should be able to separate them so that way the electricity doesn't go through it. But it's like, my man is literally in the comics the most useless character I've ever seen. In the cartoon, he's the most useless character in the cartoons I've ever seen. He doesn't help nobody. I've never seen him win a fight. You know, he's like Robin. You know, it's like when it comes to those levels, he's like Robin. He's just there to fill a spot. In the Supergirl TV show, where I'm gonna say this now, the actor who plays John Jones, phenomenal actor. When it comes down to, you know, his acting chops and the message that he sends and the inspiration he gives, beautiful. But when it comes down to the same thing, the fighting and being a superhero, that character does nothing. Now, my defense is gonna like lend to the reason why I don't like this fucking guy. But it's literally like he does nothing. He's there for no reason. You know? And that's why I don't like him. It's a waste of time to see someone like this. But now, going into the defense of John Jones is a green Martian. He's a Martian from Mars. There's white Martians and green Martians. Now, apparently, there was a telepath that can transfer into different bodies that lit his home on fire, right? And I think that's why he's afraid of the fire. And it killed his race, and there was no like mental signal, you know, because he could read minds. He has a lot of fucking powers. Like this guy, I'm gonna get into it deeper, but this guy has almost an infinite amount of powers, John Jones. And he followed that creature down to Earth to go after him, and I believe he killed him. But like he couldn't go back because either I think I'm mixing up two different universes, but he couldn't go back because his teleportation device was messed up, and we didn't have the technology to fix it on Earth at the time. So he stayed here to help, and like he was a detective and all that other stuff. Now his powers go from being able to make his body so hard that he's invulnerable. He has super strength that is comparable to Shazam, Wonder Woman, and Superman. He has super speed. He has the ability to phase in and out of things. He has what's called Martian vision, which is heat vision. He has the ability to trap you in your own mind telepathically. He's also an empath. He has super speed. He can grow. Like he can change the size of himself, which makes him stronger. He actually in the comics was described by Superman. There's a handful of people that I would not want to fight, and Martian Manhunter is the first one because he is the most powerful being in the DC universe, according to Superman. Batman in his notes has labeled Martian Manhunter as Superman with Batman's brain. If you mix Superman and Batman together, you get Martian Manhunter. He's so well respected that there was a white Martian that came down to Earth. I forgot her name, but she's in the Teen Titans or the Young Justice League. What's her name?
McGann.
Miss Martian.
Yes, Miss Martian. She came down and was mentored by Marvin Manhunter. And she's a white Martian, but she chose to stay green to respect John Jones. Now, if that doesn't show you the type of person or the type of being that John Jones is, to out of respect from basically a teenage girl that she's gonna honor his race. then I don't know what to tell you. But he's technically one of the most powerful creatures in the DC universe, and he's actually known to have fought and fend off the Justice League in the New 52. I don't know if he killed them, but I know he actually fought and he was holding his own against every single member of the Justice League in the New 52. He's a part of other factions like a Storm Shadow or something like that the DC universe made. And if you like Superman and you want more powers for Superman, like the unlimited power of Superman, then you got Martian Manhunter right there for you. Like that's how I'm gonna defend him. He's not what they wrote in the comics, and they mentioned that they needed to dumb him down in the in the cartoons, because you have Superman and Wonder Woman and Shazam, and then you have somebody that can match them all strength-wise, speed-wise, power-wise, and then does more. And he originally is supposed to be a side character for like Batman and all these other people that were just in the back. They were just extra characters, and then people liked him, and then they made his own series. So he became popular enough to be his own character, and he's just fucking overpowered as a motherfucker. And they dumbed him down for the cartoons, and them dumbing him down for the cartoons is what made me not like him. So that's what I got.
Not as much a show, but all right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Clearly shows on point.
Yeah.
hey.
Oh, one quick note. You said that he was an empath. It's actually empath. Because he can, it plays on the empathy of others, and he can change like emotions and moods and shit like that.
Okay.
It's better than just a redheaded wife.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know if he's a good father. Anything like that.
Start it out there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. See show? One Wikipedia page.
That's it.
But I told you, save me for last, but you ain't
Don't
believe
worry.
me.
We'll give you some time to redeem yourself.
Yep.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
He's still gonna have a redheaded wife, but go ahead.
My character, which I've said it before, but I don't think it was here for it, is Cyclops. It's a character that is widely not liked, and I have some people that actually do. But the reason I don't like him is within his own family, he is the least coolest of all. That's one of the reasons. 2, unlike Captain America, he's a Boy Scout, but not because he grew up being that way. He just like developed it, and then he has an arrogance that doesn't suit his position amongst mutants themselves. So like, if I were gonna be as arrogant as him, I would want to be Magneto, not Cyclops. You know what I mean? Like his power set is not on the level of what he believes he is. You know what I mean? Like, and then he's just fucking lame, dude. He's just like, there's no redeeming qualities about the guy. There's a guy with claws that's cooler than you. You understand? He's 5'3", and he has claws and he's cooler than you. How is this possible? How do you suck that bad? How is a teenager with a range coat and fireworks come out of her fingers cooler than you? This is what I'm talking about. But on that note, I turned around. One of the things I say about him is he is a good leader. 9 out of 10 when they go on missions, he's the leader of the X-Men. It's him, and then there's Storm. And usually when he leads a mission, 9 out of 10 times it will be successful because he is very good at delegating missions. He understands being one of Professor's very first mutants. Or second actually that he picked up, understands how Professor thinks, and he does understand how missions go. He has no military background, but his father was an Air Force pilot, so he kind of has that military brat thing going for him, where he does understand the structure, but he has no actual experience in it, And he leads field missions. That's 9 out of 10. And Another redeeming thing is that, once again, his father is a space pirate. His son is Cable. If you're on this podcast and you're watching and you don't know who Cable is, I have nothing to say to you. You know what I'm saying? His brother's Havoc, and he has another brother, which right now the name escapes me, but they're both essentially better versions of him. Especially his other brother, which is not mentioned very often. He's a mutant, but he's mostly based in space, and he's one of the most powerful mutants. He's an Omega level powerful mutant, essentially. You know, and if you know how that works, Omega is powerful as you can get. You know, at one point he did have the Phoenix Force, and he was really cool and had kind of like a Nightwing kind of vibe going for him with his uniform that everybody in comic books started calling him out on. Said, I've seen that somewhere. No, that's Nightwing. Yeah, looks familiar. But he is essentially, I want to say this correctly. I want to come off I don't like him, but essentially he is the perfect yes man to Professor Xavier. You know, it's not many times he's going to disagree with Professor. You know, where everybody else might think differently, especially Wolverine, he's going to go, no, I agree with him, even though he probably knows he's completely wrong, but he will, and he's loyal to a fault. You know, that's another good quality about him. He will ride or die with you the whole way, even if you're wrong. You know, it depends on who you are. If you're Jean Grey, Professor Xavier, Storm, you know, clearly not Logan. You know what I mean? Yeah, so you know, it's a thing of, you know, you could be a good soldier just in the term, not an actual soldier, but to his optic blast, it's not a laser. It's really like a force. You know, if you're more than 50 feet away, it's not going to go through you. If you're that close, it might. You know, so everybody thinks, oh, it's heat. It's not. Really isn't. You know, you tape up his eyes, and you know he is an expert hand-to-hand fighter. Like I said, he's very good with missions and details, and very good goal-oriented. You know, like if he sets his mind on something, he'll 9 out of 10 accomplish it. You know what I mean? So that's something you can definitely see good in a person. You know, and for the most part, you know what I'm saying, that's what I got. But you know, it's a character that I feel is not liked a lot of times because of you got guys that are just cooler, like Wolverine, Gambit. You know what I mean? Shit, even Colossus is cooler than him. You know what I mean? So like you got these characters they're so cool. Then you have this guy who's like the biggest square on God's green earth compared to them. You know what I mean? I mean, when you make Cap look like the hippest dude in the world, Captain America, come on, bro. People literally will go, yo, I'd rather chill with Captain America than you. That's how uncool you are. You know what I mean? But like I said, he does have some redeeming qualities, and the way he's written a lot of times screws him up. You know, writers literally have taken this whole, oh, he's the uncool X-Men and ran with it. He's had like 1 or 2 things where he was kind of cool comics, but it goes, whenever they start over, he's back to the most lame, boring, douchebaggy guy ever. You know what I mean? Like, think of the lamest dude you know and put a visor on his eyes and a stupid leather jacket, and that's Cyclops, essentially. Yeah. But at the end of it, I bashed him at the end of it because I don't like the guy. I'm sorry. Just don't. And there's one that I just want to do, one quick one. Very quick. And that's Johnny Storm. I don't like when he's written like an egotistical idiot, because Johnny Storm ahead is also a test pilot. He's also actually pretty intelligent, what people don't give him the credit for. You know what I mean? But the douchiness of him always upsets me. You know what I mean? You know, that's just a little thing I want to go there. Oh yeah, and fuck Iron Man. That's what worked. Not Robert Downey Jr., the comic book character.
Yeah.
I love RDJ. You're the man.
Word.
Right. So yeah.
Oh, that was just like a quick mention for Johnny Storm.
Yeah, Johnny Storm was just a quick. It's really the way he's written, not necessarily because I think Chris Evans did a great job as him. Michael B. Jordan did whatever he did, but the way he's written, a lot of times comes off like really douchey. And there's other writers that give him a depth that makes sense for him to fit. Fantastic. Like the Thing, Reed Richard and Sue Storm are not the only ones that have like issues. Like this dude can never keep gear on. Think about you bought a Brian Armani suit and all of a sudden, shit, I got it. No, man, I just got this. You know what I mean? And then he's the youngest one of all of them, and he's supposed to act a certain way now that he's a superhero, and kind of like Peter Parker, not enjoy his youth. It's like, dude, I'm still young. You know what I mean? I can't enjoy my life. I gotta like drop everything. And imagine being on a date and all of a sudden, shit, I gotta go save the world. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna win you points. 100%. But you're still like, yo, every time I'm about to close a deal, I gotta go save the world.
Speaking of which, he gives a new definition to the term hot date.
Absolutely correct. Yeah. You just imagine you're about to close a deal. Shit, right now. I just need 2 minutes. 2 minutes to seal the deal. Come on, Reed. Just give me 2 minutes. Yeah, man.
Can you imagine him?
Time out, Reed.
Right, yeah. Yo, listen. It's unfair. You got Sue there with you. She's always with us. That's unfair.
Dude, I just imagine
and she's invisible. She could be doing some shit while you're in the
middle.
Imagine
him right as he about to finish. He just flame on.
Oh,
damn.
That's a whole new meaning to getting burnt.
Yo, for real.
Yeah. But that was just the Cyclops thing I did. At the end, I kind of went off there, but I can't back him up.
Now, hey, you want to give Show
absolutely
his go now, or you want to give him some time? Or
no, I'm sure if you want to get some time, because I would like to talk about the Moon Knight trailer. I saw it, bro. Like, it was cool. You know what I mean? And well, yeah, mostly the Moon Knight trailer, because I saw it and I was like, oh. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I got it. Even though when he transformed, I got Sailor Moon vibes, but that's just me. I saw it and I was like, I've seen this somewhere. And there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Joe, you ready now?
I think I could do better. Y'all guys were complaining.
You're looking up facts as you didn't say anything.
No, I'm not gonna look up facts. I ain't gonna cheat. Listen.
Ain't gonna cheat. That's not cheating. That's the assignment.
You guys were complaining that I didn't defend them well enough, so I'm gonna try to defend them a little better.
Enough? You didn't defend them at all. But go ahead.
The reason I dislike them is plain and simple, and I guess it's selfish. Second time, how you did that so quick?
I don't fuck around.
But anyways, he was just to me he was bland. He was boring. I liked him as the voice of Iron Man's suit, but as a character,
Jarvis.
Exactly, I liked him as Jarvis, but especially after I watched WandaVision, he was the same boring. Well, the show fucked it up for me. But anyways, to defend him, good stuff about Vision that might help me change my mind about him is, one, he was made of vibranium, right? And
vibranium.
His power derived from the Mind Stone, correct? Which is two good things.
Yeah.
He was able to pick up Thor's hammer with ease, like a paper clip, which means that, as from what I've heard from you guys, only people that are pure are able to lift this hammer.
Worthy.
Okay, so he's worthy. So that's a good defense. He did help the Avengers by blocking the ability of Ultron to escape. So that's another good. He had like Cap had allured to earlier. He had the Samboses. What was it? The synopsis, right? And the redundancy of a Scarlet Witch. It's just it's perfect.
What?
Listen,
First of all,
I can use those words too.
I don't know the word. What's the other word you said? The redundancy.
The redundancy and the synopsis on his head. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. You lost me once you said that.
My apologies.
I literally stopped. My brain stopped working for like a good 10 seconds there.
I'll stick to my vocabulary.
No, it's okay.
Capacity.
It's okay. No, you gotta try and evolve, which is a good thing.
Yeah. I listened to Cap and I took some of the words that I like and I try to fit it in here. No. I don't know if I did it right.
Dude, stop listening to the words I say if you're not gonna also then figure out the definition and how it's used.
After the show, let me get to it. Anyways, not question. Well, not question, because you guys don't want questions. Y'all want me to just do it.
Yeah, we want to.
That's your question.
In the comic book, is it true he didn't even have an Infinity Stone in his head? He had a gemstone.
Yeah, it's some other sort of gem, and then later became like a solar energy panel or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
He was a solar. I get it. Tesla solar panel. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How they switched him over to the comic. I'm supposed to defend him, but I do feel like Vision should be a lot stronger than they make him out to seem. Like all he has is the beam. I'm lying. He phases. He is able to change his weight, I guess. I heard that he could change. He could be lighter than air.
Yeah, he could change his density.
His density. Okay, so see, I'm giving 5 things. I said I ain't give shit.
Do you know what the term defend means?
Yeah, I'm defending.
You're just listing off some shit he does.
I am defending. I'm defending him.
I think you may have focused a little too much at the end of what I did.
Exactly.
I went off the rails a little bit.
My apologies.
No, you right now you're good.
Yeah, I'm going off the rails on Vision, which is the topic.
I almost feel like asking you guys if you could just tag me real quick.
Hold up.
It's on him.
Now come through. Let me hear.
Hold up. Before you start,
now what's he coming up with now?
The real defense. My boy Cap is like a lawyer at the court. You're gonna defend everybody. This guy is incompetent. Show needs help.
So, here's how I'm gonna help show out, right? So Vision was initially, at least the body was made to for Ultron to enact his ultimate form. The Avengers stopped that, and the Vision got his own personality. One of the good things about the Vision is that he's one of the rare characters that was originally a completely different character that Marvel had. Then they scrapped him and then put him in with Ultron, made him his own character again, and he has now stood the test of time and gone so much from background BS to mainstay character that he has grown into a fully fledged character that's in the movies, that actually means something to people, that can actually stand on his own. So you mentioned that he had he had the red-headed wife, right? Scarlet Witch actually chose Vision because she saw something in him that he was missing, and she tried to fill what she was missing with the same thing. Within that, he showed, again, similar to Superman, his take on humanity has pushed him more to be more like us, because he does see redeeming qualities within us. He does have kids. There's a run of comics where he actually has a whole. He's no longer with Wanda at this point, but he has his own android kids. His daughter's a cool up and coming hero. His son was a hero for a little bit. He was, for all intents and purposes, a great father. The Vision is one of the strongest characters, worthy of, like you said, worthy of lifting Thor's hammer, Moliere. That in and of itself should be something you should have said as a redeeming quality.
I did.
No, you listed as a thing he can do, which is a slight difference.
It was my defense.
But
So does he lift it out of brute strength, or is he worthy enough to lift it?
no. So he lifted out of pure worthiness because, well, in the movie, he lifted it out of pure worthiness because he was brand new and had not been corrupted by anything. He started with the ideal of, this is, what do you call it? This is how I see humanity supposed to be, and this is how I'm going to act, which is a direct opposition to Ultron, which saw the worst in us and continued to exacerbate that problem. So that's why he was able to lift the hammer. One of the things that you should have said to, I know you don't like the WandaVision show, but his interaction with the White Vision was probably one of the best non-combating moments in Marvel, because that whole scene where he's talking about the ship of Odysseus, I think it is, where how much of it can you change to where it's no longer the original ship?
Mm-hmm.
That right there is a battle that scholars have been having for centuries. And the fact that you could bring it in, you can have two androids, non-humans, talk in that manner and actually show that if you make a compelling argument to somebody that doesn't agree with you, that not only can you change that person's mind and perspective, but it is something that doesn't have to come to blows, something that doesn't have to get physical. That's something that we desperately need in our world today, is the ability to talk with people and present evidence or facts or whatever you want to say in a manner to which somebody can turn around and go, you know what? I see exactly where you're coming from, and now I can change my viewpoint. Because that's something, changing your viewpoint inherently on the outset makes it seem like you were wrong before. But in certain circumstances of life, you are never wrong. You just find a new way of looking at something. Case in point, if you call every dog a dog, you are not wrong. But if you learn that, oh, this dog is a husky and that dog is a boxer, and now you change the way you look at dogs and now you learn the breeds, your past view of looking at every dog at the same thing, not wrong, it's just changed and evolved. And to get that from an android, it again shows us that there's definitely something deep inherent in us that it makes everything worth it. Because if he could see it, this is almost like the Rocky IV thing.
I was about to
If
say
he
the
could
same
change,
thing.
I could change. We all could
Oh
change.
my god! I was about to
Everybody
say it. I was like, wait a minute.
change.
I know. I was about to go. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
Why not, Adrian?
Yeah. So hopefully that helps a little bit for you, show.
It did. Thank you. See, sounded a lot better from pro.
So does that change your mind on the character Vision show?
Like I said, the reason I like him is probably not even legit. I don't like them. It's not legit. Like I said, it's just movie wise. But listening to Cab, he sounds a lot better. He's a lot stronger than I think. Like I said, from picking up Moliere, that should be. He's one of the only person that could do that. Him and Captain America. No.
Question: what's Moliere?
Somebody's molars. What he took.
Got it. Cool. Okay. So is that a new hammer they made for Vision? Moliere. Come to me, Moliere. Okay. I'm with it.
Oh man.
I'm with it. If I was an artist, I would so make that happen. You have no idea. No idea. I'm saying, yeah. It's funny, but the irony is the same power set in a way that Vision has, so does Jean. So it's ironic that you two guys pretty much, and their color scheme is almost the same as well.
Yeah.
It's ironic. I'm like, wait, oh shit, it's them two. It's funny.
Yo, like I got hit. Do you still have that NFL thing, Toe?
Yes.
No.
Give me a second.
Look at his finger in the scratch.
No.
You're gonna have to bear with me because you're gonna hear yourselves, but
there you go. So this is for toe tags and show enough only. Which one of y'all can get the closest to what the inscription on Thor's hammer says?
It's a good one.
may the power of Thor be bestowed on who is worthy to wield the hammer.
Okay, that's yours. Sure. What's your best guess?
Whoever bears the clearness to pick this up shall move it
on every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
The funny part is the way he's saying it is the way like the Norse gods would speak. It's off.
Yeah.
He's saying it like the way they would phrase it, but it's just this
a
off.
little bit. But go ahead, Cap. Well,
so technically, I'd have to say toe tags is closer, but it's I believe the original one is he who is worthy to lift the hammer will inherit Thor's power.
Okay,
that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Which is weird because it was a thing where
he was trying to say like not
in the original comics there was a character called Donald Blake who found Thor's hammer and he would turn into Thor. But that's not technically what the description says. That you just gain the power of Thor. You don't become him.
Yeah,
which is always weird. But
you'll get the suit, but he won't look like a 6'9" Scandinavian blonde guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that what happened to Lady Thor?
Oh, Jane Foster?
Yeah.
So Thor was I think dead at the time.
I believe so, yeah.
And she had cancer and she was deemed worthy enough and she gained the power of Thor and then just took up the mantle.
Okay, so she just started changing her armor and everything to fit the Thor's
she just put the Norse god Jane thing. Foster was just a EMT driver, regular lady. She just put on a suit.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like once she got the power, she put on the suit to look like Thor. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like Shazam where you turn into Shazam.
No. You get the power. You get his strength, his speed, his ability to control lightning, his toughness. You know, he's not invincible, but he heals faster and all that other shit. He can take a punch. All that shit you gain if you are worthy enough to lift the hammer.
Okay.
So be screwed.
Word. Yeah. I'm gonna be right back. But
Sylvie has her own fucking 18 hammers, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right back. But you guys, I'm pretty sure there's some fact checking based off of what everybody said, where we could, be like, yo, you mentioned this, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
Unless,
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, Lay, you should have done Sylvie, and I should have done Star-Lord.
It's
This
funny.
episode.
We should have. We
Yeah.
should definitely have done that. It's funny because I thought of Sylvie when I first thought about it, but I go, yo, I don't not enough of a history there. One, and two, just really was trying hard to like find a way to defend Cyclops. I was like, it's funny because ironically, before coming all this, right, I was watching Law and Order, and I'm watching a guy try to defend a client he doesn't like, and you're like, yo, how do you do that? Like, you know what I mean? And then you watch like the courtrooms, and you can tell the guy's like, yo, I believe this guy's a piece of shit, but he's hired me for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I got to defend, even though I don't believe him. I know he's guilty, but I'm like, shit, dude. I'm like, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yo, what is a way that somebody would go, okay, I can fuck with Cyclops. Now I'll read some of his comics or the comics that he's in, but it was hard. Like I had to really nitpick. I had to be like, well, he's loyal.
Dude, yo, when Vin told me about this, I was like, I don't hate any characters enough to care.
Mm-hmm.
So like I really look up, like Google, who's the most hated characters amongst fans.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you know what, Superman's on this list. It's like I know enough about Superman that I can say why I don't like him and then try to defend him.
Yeah.
Then I saw the Inhuman. A picture of the TV show, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. They messed it up. People might not like them. I could pick up for a little bit."
Yeah. It's funny because I remember I watched a list on them. You know how much they suck. And you're like,
it's weird to hear.
That's right, that show was atrocious.
Shown enough. Pick a character that it didn't even seem he knew beforehand.
I didn't know none.
You agree with us?
Well, yeah, because I really don't know any of them, but I did look some stuff up about Vision, as you can obviously see, since I was naming some of the.
There's a wife with red hair, or had one.
Hey, no. I said better things than that.
She-Hulk definitely got all that for him.
Mm-hmm.
She-Hulk was probably his lawyer, probably her lawyer. She-Hulk, she was like, got you, Wanda.
That's right. And he had kids. He was a good father.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No child support.
Yeah. Child support. He had a gem. He had a soul stone in his head. He didn't say soul stone though, so
Hey.
It's funny because me and Show picked similar characters from two different comic book brands. Hilarious. And it was almost like Show didn't like him, but didn't know why I didn't like him. And I knew exactly why I didn't like this dude, but I didn't know nothing about him until I fucking looked him up,
Yeah.
It was literally like, for me, it was like, I didn't like this dude because someone told me something. And then when you meet the dude, like, oh, he's not that much of an asshole. Like somebody lied to me.
Yeah.
But then it's like, the guy you don't like long enough to be like, I don't give a shit still. Yeah. I'm never gonna get the Vision out of this fucking guy. I'll save him and getting electrocuted. Like my man got electrocuted every chance he got. And then you put look, hold on. I'll defeat Marvin the Manhunter right now. I'll defeat him. I'll defeat the shit out of him right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, Cap, are you frozen? Oh, no.
It's funny. You got these guys a lot of guys are OP, and you have to give them the simplest weaknesses. You know what I mean? Because like I've said it before, I have no interest in people with a lot of superpowers because I can't relate. I like Nightwing. I like the Punisher. I like Batman. I like Red Hood. If you shoot one of them, in the right spot, you're dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure one of them running one of them roofs, he pulled a hamstring on some shit. One of those nights, you know, Superman can fly through everything. I can't.
You know, but it makes sense to hear that the people who made Superman were the same people that were bullied and wanted to make somebody that's unbullyable. Pretty much. Like, if I was strong enough to take your punch, I would stand there and fuck you up. Like, I figure that's the guys that, you know, that was the voice they made when they pitched Superman.
Makes sense. I mean, think about it. You make somebody like, let's say, like Batman, right? You clearly had a fear of the night and bats somewhere, right? Like one of those two guys, Bob Kane and the other guy, one of them two was not a fan of the night or bats. Like, and it's funny because then they had the intelligence to go, you put that into the comics, like, yo, I'm afraid of this. It scares the shit out of me, so I'm gonna use it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like Daredevil. Somebody thought, oh, look, what's something that scares the shit out of people? The devil himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where the devil is punching you in the face. Well, there we go. That's fear. That's perfect. Yep. And somebody believed in the U.S. so much, it was like, yo, what would you name a character? The perfect American character. Captain America. Unoriginal. Let's be real. Some barely any effort made, but stood the test of time. Put him in the most non-military uniform ever because you cannot hide that uniform.
Yeah.
Captain America's suit was not made for covert missions. At least not the one in the comics.
Captain America is the American version of James Bond.
Correct.
I'm undercover, but fuck it. I'm James Bond. And I'm here to kill him. So let him know.
Like I was watching Casino Royale and he goes, Mr. Beach or Mr. Bond. He goes, whatever. I'm like, stick to Beach. That's the name you're supposed to use. It's like, listen, it's like WWE. I'm gonna make my life more challenging by giving you my actual name. Why?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's always interesting when you see somebody. I mean, the X-Men are the perfect example. How do you deal with racism? Come up with a whole new race of people.
Oh yeah.
You know
I think Cap's PC just overheated again because that's what happened last week.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always like I think it's funny leading into Moon Knight. You have somebody with schizophrenia, you know, or you know what I'm saying, like a thing, personality disorder. Like he's like 4 different people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like how is it something that hasn't been tapped before? But a lot of people say, well, Batman is the same thing. It's Bruce Wayne and Batman. You know? But this dude has like 4 of them and he kills, which is cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, yeah, that is dope. Yo, is there any like I said, fact checks? Like, is there anything that we said that came out wrong or?
Well, the thing is, with the Martians, the white Martians are considered the minorities there. So it's like there's a racism towards white Martians. You know what I mean? And so the reason McGann did that, besides for her uncle, is so that way if she ever goes back or anything like that, she meets somebody else, they believe she's a green Martian, even though in reality she's a white Martian. You know, there was this massive racism towards them amongst Martians themselves, which is always weird because you're all aliens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, you know what I mean?
And so they have similar powers.
In a way, it's like in the humans class system. You know, it's like you look down on a certain particular set of people, but you're all from the same place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they have similar powers, right? It's just the white Martians are bigger than
for the most part is telepaths. Like they're some of the most powerful. Like McGann has lobotomized a lot of people. Like she does that shit like it's Tuesday.
Shit.
There was a powerful psychopath that I forgot his name, and she lobotomized him with no effort. They were like having a battle in the mind, and she was like, "Nope, I'm done playing with you. And she can take that information from you and then lobotomize you.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? Too, so you could understand
What up, Sam?
who's who. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Jean could do the same thing. He can literally wipe out years of your life and you won't even know it if he wants to, and if she wants to. So when you say stuff like that and you read it, it makes the character more interesting because you realize, yo, you can beat the shit out of me, but eventually I'll heal. But if you wipe 10 years out of my life away from me, I'm fucking recover from that.
Yeah.
10 years of memories gone.
John Jones could do that too, right?
Yeah, they both can.
All right.
But it's seen because McGann is younger, her powers have manifested stronger, and they have yet to see her upper limits. It's kind of like, you know how Batman says that Tim Drake is going to be a better detective?
Yeah.
Along that line. Like, I'm already here, but with this kid, he has both learning from me and his own intelligence, and now they can, you know what I mean? That kind of support for them. Yeah. And it's the same thing from the Vision's daughter. She's in the Young Avengers now. Same deal. They're like her, she has all those powers, but they can only become bigger. And Wanda's kid too. The one who's more like her was Wicked, I believe.
Wicked. Yeah.
Wicked, yeah. He's more like her. So the upper limits of his thing, and Richard Franklin too. Or the thing, Reese Richardson and Sue Storm's son, same thing. Very powerful, the young age, but they can still develop to be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know there was a time where John Jones didn't lobotomize Superman, but he basically like went into his mind and just started torturing him. And like it was fucking Superman up and shit.
Yeah, because it's funny because at the end of the day, the mind is where you're the most vulnerable. You can be bulletproof all day, but if I go into your mind and just start fucking with you, you're gonna break. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those things where they don't play on it enough for John. They don't do it enough for him. They do it like when you read when you read with McGann, they do it a lot. You know what I mean? Because she can do the same thing. She can shapeshift, everything he can do, but her mentally is next level right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As though it's weird how they take these characters and they, like I said, they dumb them down for the cartoons and shit. And for me and show at least, those are gonna be the main information routes that we would take to find these characters' abilities and shit.
I mean,
but I can also
do that when you watch a lot of the DC films, the cartoon ones are better. A lot of time, better references because Marvel's TV like cartoon movies are trash.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I want to see they're good. Like I like the one with Cap and Iron Man, but it's not great. It's like they have it on Netflix or whatever. And
the one where they team up, that weird 3D one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, but honestly, like, look, I'll tell you this one. You want to see a good one for the reference for like the Justice League is Doom, the one where Batman ultimately it's in other words, Batman has a plan to stop everybody, right? Because he's paranoid, but he also understands if they go to the other side, I gotta be able to stop everybody. But his plans get changed to murder everybody. You know what I mean? So he knows all the weaknesses, and it's great because at the end of it, they're like, "Oh, you're invading our trust. It's disrespectful." He goes, "I'd do it again."
Yeah.
And if you don't see why I'm coming with this, you're a damn fool. You know what I mean? He straight up tells him.
No, yeah.
And then when Superman goes, "Yo, you come up with all that shit and you have a plan to stop you," he goes, "The Justice League. Because it's gonna need to be all of y'all to stop me."
Yeah.
Understand what I'm
that's a cool line that he has.
Yeah.
But really built out of the fear that any one of them can take him out easily.
Of course. It's a sense of, imagine the Flash decides I'm with shit. There's damn near nobody that can really stop the Flash. Because you can go back to when you were born and kill you.
Yeah.
It's not that much of an effort for the Flash to murder you. Superman. Before you think of something, he's gonna snap your neck or fly right through you. Wonder Woman. It's fucking Amazon. Green Lantern. He can literally turn. There's a missile coming up your ass if he wants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Simple enough.
It doesn't matter.
Green ball, vacuum.
Oh yeah.
He can't breathe.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? Cyborg himself. I mean, the dude is literally, he's a computer that can turn almost anybody part into a fucking weapon. Come on, bro.
Is he really a motherboard, or was that just from the movie?
I think that was just for the movie.
Yeah, just
Okay.
You know what it is? That might actually be a new 52 thing for him.
No, I think it is. It is. Like he can in the new future he can make boom too. So yeah.
So
that is something to do.
you know what it is? It's like the movies now. The DCEU went off a little bit more of the new 52, and Marvel itself actually went more off of the Ultimates universe.
Yep.
As opposed to keeping their regular continuity.
Okay. I know you big food, Sam. I know. But damn man, that's crazy. We're gonna switch subjects into the Ultimates universe. The Ultimates is where they introduce
Miles Morales.
Yeah.
So Miles Morales is gonna be a kid watching Spider-Man, then technically we could have Tom Holland die in this shit.
Well, so here's the good thing, right? With Miles Morales being brought into our universe, into 616, the regular continuity, there is now both Peter Parker and Miles Morales. So you can make a case for there being both a Peter Parker and a Miles Morales in the MCU now. Because remember, Miles just got bit by a different spider. We don't know how or what spider bit Peter or bit Tom Holland. And as you brought up before, when we talked about Miles a couple of weeks ago, he stayed in the background until it was absolutely necessary for him to come out.
Yeah.
So he could have been bitten at the same time.
So all right, so let's say this. Let's I'm gonna give you a little
what if
vision. Yeah, what if, like how they can bring him into the MCU. You have Andrew Garfunkel, whatever his last name is, do his whole thing with Venom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Venom kills Andrew Garfunkel and figures out a way to transfer over to Tom Holland Spider-Man because that's the one he really wanted. Because he has mind-bending information and all that other shit. But Miles Morales was being trained under Andrew Garfunkel's Spider-Man because he popped up trying to, save people because of some shit. And when he died, Miles Morales ran after Venom, and that's how Miles Morales winds up in the Tom Holland MCU.
So that's decent, but you got to remember, Miles Morales already exists in the MCU.
Yeah.
So now you'd have to explain how there's two of them, and one of them is nothing.
Because remember, Miles Morales was his memory was erased because he also is a Spider-Man. So his memory was erased. He's no longer Spider-Man. In the regular MCU.
Not a thing.
Shooting that down quick.
Hey, no one knows the identity of Spider-Man. So now Miles Morales is like, yo, I don't know who the fuck I am anymore.
Here's the thing, right? An easy way to introduce Miles.
He dies in the movie. Yeah.
An easy way to introduce Miles and Silk is that they were class members of Peter Parker. Silk was bitten by the same spider that Tom Holland was, because that's how it is in the comics. They would call a different one bit Miles Morales. You can even do, well, I don't know if you could do Childish Gambino stealing one of them, but who knows? They didn't explain how Tom got bit. You don't have to explain how these people got bit. They all got bit, right? And there's one thing. Then, like you said, Miles didn't really want to be a hero. 5 years, they're all still in the same school with Pete. Nobody knows about it because we're only watching Peter Parker's life. They all get dusted. It's 5 years for us. They come back. They've had to adjust to this whole world now. They've had to adjust to new powers, coming back to this world. What the fuck happened to their families? What happened, you know, are they still going to school? Or is everything just as smooth for Spider-Man? And then there's this weird gap where everybody knew Mysterio said something about Spider-Man, but now we don't know exactly what he said. All he said is that Spider-Man killed him. And with this new Tom Holland, with the new blue and red suit and shit, he inspires what J. Jonah Jameson calls copycats. And then you introduce Silk, and then you introduce Miles. That'd be an easier way. Plus, if you don't want to go with the whole love triangle, with the love story of him and Zendaya, because Silk was bitten by the same spider, she is compelled to want to mate with Peter Parker. It's a weird bond that they have. So introduce her as a love interest.
All right, guess we could do that.
Because, in all honesty, the only flaw that you have with the way you want to do it is that means Tom Hardy has to come into the MCU as Venom. Fuck that. We already have our own symbiote. We don't need his dumbass.
Well,
somebody's not a fan.
Tom Hardy's Venom is not in Andrew Garfinkel's version of Spider-Man.
He will be when they make it.
No. Ben Affleck is gonna be Venom.
Dude, you're just making this worse.
Hey, Ben Affleck was a good Batman.
Yeah, that doesn't make him a good anything else.
This is true.
But it doesn't make him a bad anything else.
Yo, go back and watch Paycheck and see if Ben Affleck being a good Batman fixes that movie.
No.
What up? What up, that fat girl? Oh, is that Jem? What up, Jem?
What?
Well, no, I think she changed her name to that fat girl on Twitch. She used to be Sneaky Gem. Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah, it's one of those.
I get the reference.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm lying.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So, damn, you just paired your channels now, Joe? And you're muted.
I'm trying to do that on the low, man. You over here shower me out. How you know this?
I get a notification. Remember, I'm the leader and the ruler of the world.
Fuck.
Bruh.
Yo, he's the baddest.
Show enough.
Ruler of the world. I'm like, why are you yelling, dude? There's a mic in front of you.
Yeah, and he's spitting into that mic too. It's
Oh,
Karma.
yeah,
What up,
he's
Karma?
I hate you.
Yo, if COVID was around, they wouldn't let Sid speak.
Of course. Yeah.
Yo.
I would have been like, yo, you got to back up. We're going to mic you.
Your word.
Yo, I will forever quote Sid Vicious or Sid Justice or whatever you want to call him. You are half the man that I am, and I have half the brain that you do.
I remember that.
He said, shit, let's do it again. We're live. No. My favorite thing is BG going, no, keep going. We're live,
Yo.
bro. I can't go back. We're here.
It's too late.
Yeah,
Oh,
you want to hear
my
something
God.
funny? I played racquetball yesterday for the first time in like 6 years, right? And driving my boy home, we're on the road, and he's telling me how to go to his place. And he says, all right, so at the corner here, you're going to make a right. So I put my turn signal on to go left. I make a left-hand turn as he's yelling at me to go right. And the whole time I'm like, yo, I'm going right. What the fuck are you yelling at, man? And then halfway through the turn, I'm like, wait a minute. This don't look familiar to me.
This ain't no right. No, I was saying you was right. My bad.
See right there, Cap. You had half the brain that the other man had.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I wish I could remember that Scott Steiner one. Like the whole thing. I got to look it up.
Oh, the fractions.
Oh my god! Because my favorite thing is Petey Williams going. Petey Williams completely forgot what he was doing. He's like, wait, what? Okay, whatever. He goes, it's Scott Steiner being Scott Steiner, man. That's literally. I'd rather you do a promo like that than it suck.
Yeah.
I was watching Raw. Don't say anything to me about it. But I was like, yo, Chad Gable is not bad.
Which one?
Chad Gable.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's not bad on the mic. Like, he's annoying enough that you're like, yo, I don't like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No problem. Yo. Everything else was trash, but I was like, oh, I got no problem with him. You know what I'm saying?
Here's something. To circle it back to what we're talking about now, that's something you guys could do is pick a wrestler that you don't like and defend them. I'd pick Chad. Fucking, you can't listen to the word that's being said clearly. That was the dumbest shit out there. Why don't you just give him a word that's hard to spell?
Yeah. I was like, what? What? Like, there's no way you could get that wrong. Impossible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would have blamed the Irish guy easily, but that'd have been me.
Word.
Somebody speaks English.
And then they had the audacity. One of the most misspelled words, dumbbell. Like, what? That one? That's one.
They were trying. I don't think Randy's a scholar either, so I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I feel you.
That whole thing, that whole segment, I was like, there better be some wrestling at the end of this.
The funniest part about that is watching Chad Gable miss time telling the guy he doesn't need the definition, because the dude got the most important part of that definition out before Chad said it. That's why I was like, that's why when he was spelling shit, I was like, wait a minute, what did he? How'd you not hear what the fuck he said?
I don't know. It was weird. All that shit is weird, man.
It's weird. Before we go off the rails and make this a wrestling show, Lay mentioned earlier in the podcast he wanted to talk about the Moonlight trailer.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was funny. Yeah. I know, man. I'm a fan of Oscar Isaac, and I think he's going to do great in it. They showed a lot, but then not so much. So I was like, enough that you're like, okay, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? And I read somewhere who Ethan Hawke is supposed to play. He was supposed to be playing, but I can't remember the name of it. Saved my life. Yeah, I know he's supposed to be a scientist or something like that.
He's playing. I forget the guy's name, and I'm on my phone right now, so I can't look it up. But it's an obscure character that was in a Moon Knight issue for like 1 or 2 runs. And initially, he's just like a mad scientist dude, not really anything to scoff at.
Yeah,
but I think that what they're doing is they're taking that as a basis and adding it to some other character to come up with this new version of it.
Yeah.
Arthur Harrow. Harrow.
Yeah. He was apparently he was before a Nazi scientist. Because
doing weird experiments.
At the end of the day, with Marvel, all the evil is Nazis and Hydra.
Well, now that's what happens when almost all your writers are Jewish Americans. Especially at that time, they're gonna pick the biggest threat to hate on.
This is true. This is actually very true. Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, I like the fact that one where he gets the call and the girl goes, Mark. He goes, why'd you call me Mark? Oh, there it is.
Now, I don't know how much I want to say because I know Toe don't like spoilers, but if you just know who Moon Knight is, technically these are not spoilers.
Yeah.
No, but good.
No, so it's funny. He suffers from I forget how they word it now, but it's a personality disorder where he has 3 personalities, which initially in the comics he used as they weren't 3 parts of his mind. He just had 3 different personas. He had the mercenary, who was Mark. Then he had Steven, which was like a taxi driver who that was the ears to the street, the guy who could just be on scene and know everything. And then he had I forget what the other guy's name is, but he was like a billionaire Tony Stark dude that got him in all the doors that he needed to get into. And then when they did the rewrites, it all became that not Anubis. I'm really bad with the Egyptian names, but the actual god of the moon.
God damn it! I just had it.
Yeah, but the guy who possessed him, who gives him the powers.
Yeah.
Him being in his mind actually fractured him into 3 different personalities.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 second. But yeah, it's
essentially like a cage.
Oh, that's actually pretty dope. Like because to me, I get a little bit of a Batman vibe because even though he has different personalities,
Is it Khonshu?
Khonshu, yes, Khonshu.
Yeah, Khonshu. That's it. But yeah, that's people ultimately compare to Batman all the time. That's like what everybody says.
See, there's a major so here's the difference. Right, I'll sum it up beautifully with a line. So Batman's most famous line is "I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman." Right? He's the threat you don't see coming. Moon Knight has said in the comics, he wears white not so that you see him coming. He wears white because he wants you to know he's there. Because there's nothing you can do to stop him. He wants you to be ready because you're still not going to do shit to him.
He's also surprised, motherfucker. What up, Arcade?
Was it Taskmaster goes, he hates copying Moon Knight because Moon Knight will willingly take a punch to deliver 5. He hates copying it because like, yo, you'll get hit, but you'll be like, it's gonna hurt when I come back. I'm coming with the thunder.
My man said it's gonna hurt a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is Marvel's entry point into tackling not only a darker subject matter, but actually tackling something that doesn't get talked about enough. And that's so Spider-Man had to do with the fame part of superheroism. But you don't really get to talk too much about what being a hero or doing all this shit and having powers and gods talk to you and all that, how that really messes with a psyche.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, like let's say like police officers, you're on the job, all right, 25 years. But that's 25 years that potentially you're getting calls to violent acts, horrible crimes, messed up things. Like nobody really talks about the toll that alone takes. So this can open up the door to, especially like with his disorder, of not only shedding some light on it, which I hope they do. I mean, this is not going to be like a fucking TED Talk seminar about it, but I hope they do it some justice and not just like the bullshit Hollywood does. But this can open up the door to talk about it, to normalize it, to show that if you are suffering with some sort of this infliction, that you can get help. It's not something to run from. It's not something to be shamed for. Kind of like how Echo, she was an amputee, she's deaf, but they never really harped on her. They never really harped on that hindering her. They actually harped on it being an asset. Absolutely. And that's a message that should be, talked about more. Those two things is how you can turn something that you think is a disability into an asset. But in the rare cases where you can't, you shouldn't be afraid to talk about it or to get help or to,
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm saying it's because it's one of those things that you read about it, you see it, and whenever they've done it before in Hollywood, it's always been made fun of in a sense. It was like pointed at as funny, and hopefully with a guy like Oscar Isaac, which is a great actor, and Marvel being sensitive to certain things, which they have been. They've dealt with a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? And like like Matt Murdock, how'd you do that? I'm a good lawyer. I'm a really good lawyer. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like you can take it tongue in cheek, but give it some importance. You know what I mean? Because for the love of God, if you see the trailer, the dude is like chained to his bed. I guess because I don't know, the personalities wake him up before he does something stupid. So I guess he's like trying to secure himself not to do anything crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I think that's part of the thing is he doesn't know what he does when somebody else takes over. He's unaware.
Yeah.
But so like let's say Steven doesn't know what happens when one of the other guys takes over, but he knows something does happen.
Yeah.
So I think that, and he says it in the trailer that he's becoming it's getting harder and harder for him to distinguish what's reality and what's not. So I think he just was locking himself up to try to figure that out.
Yeah.
But that's another thing that I hope they address is if you really have three personalities that switch in and out, how does your body rest if when you think you're sleeping, somebody else is taking over?
That's true. That's absolutely true. That has to. I'm interested to see the way, like, it's a like part of your mind has a micro nap or something like that. Like part of your mind is asleep. You know what I mean?
Like,
and I don't, I don't just do anything for the body. You know what I mean? But maybe with Khonshu, it kind of explains with the God. It kind of is like, well, you're an autopilot when I'm taking over. Like,
you're an unconscious state.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they had a
everything. Asleep. I just need your body. I don't need you to be aware. It's funny. I remember somebody was upset about the suit. Like, he looks like a mummy. I was like,
yeah, but that's the point.
You know anything about Egyptian lore?
Yeah, it's motherfucking Egyptian.
You morons. I'm like, oh, it looks too much like Moon Knight. An Egyptian pretty much an Egyptian superhero in the sense of with the powers. No, you're right. That didn't make any sense. Dude, it looks 80% like the actual costume, but whatever. I don't know.
Dude, you got to make it make sense in a real world setting. Like just putting on a fucking skin tight white Under Armour shirt and a hood is not gonna cut it, man. Like it might work for your cosplay at Comic-Con, but it ain't gonna work. And
I'm over here like I read one comment. He goes, "How does it make sense that that's what it looks like?" Somebody goes, "Mummy," and the guy goes, "I don't get it." Really? You don't? Do you know anything about the character? Because now you're just talking out of your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Like the one costume I didn't like is the Batgirl costume.
Really? I thought that looked pretty good.
I wasn't a fan of it. I was like, yeah, well, you know.
You know some of those.
I would prefer the black and gold one from like the Arkham's game, but you know, what can you do?
Well, we got to see what it looks like on camera because sometimes a still picture doesn't really do justice to it.
This is true. Agreed. It's true, but you know, for right now, I'm like,
I have a good idea here to bring it back to the topic of the day.
Mm-hmm.
We should each go around and pick a character for somebody else to defend.
All right, we could do that, but I know Cabs wanted to talk about Aquaman.
Oh yes. And that is legit. That one, Captain Aquaman is legit. I'll tell you right now, Captain Aquaman, known it for years.
Lay, do you want to give some insight on why Cabs hates Aquaman?
Well, if I remember correctly, it's just I don't know how to say this. And by the way, the guy that got picked to play Aquaman, he's not a fan of him either. So it's like you're layering what he's not a fan of. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's honestly, it's just the fact that he's Aqua. Is like, first of all, when we were growing up, Aquaman was never taken seriously. You know, what was the running joke with Aquaman? It's a guy that talks to fishes.
Yeah.
Now, meanwhile, if you know anything about Aquaman, he's as strong as Superman. His trident can actually penetrate Superman's skin. He literally dominates 3/4 of the world, the ocean.
Which is funny because one of the jokes was, well, he can't do shit once he gets to land,
which is a lot.
As if he was a fish. Like,
yeah, which is a lot because he's, like half and half. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whatever. But to me, the Cabs is the lack of seriousness was taken, and how they try to turn that seriousness. And like I said, then the guy chosen to play him, he has his where he feels Jason Momoa he's a toxic masculinity. I believe, like, dude, we get it. You're a guy. Yes, you do all this shit, whatever. Then you mix the least favorite person he doesn't like, and then you put him with that guy, and you're just like, oh, you're just trying to piss this guy off now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you're doing everything to make this guy not like this character even more. So yeah, it's I'm pretty sure I'm missing a lot, but I know for a fact it's just like fuck Aquaman. It's like I can like sum it up with that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would like to hear what he would have said to defend him.
Okay, you know what? Next week we got to give him the time in the beginning of it so he can get it out, because I'm really interested to hear him defend him.
Yeah.
I'm really interested because there's a lot if you know the lore of Aquaman that you can defend him with. I just named like 3 things. You know what I mean? But there's more. He does have an interesting backstory. You know what I mean? And in the movies, what's cool? Boba Fett is his father, and that's dope. It's like, your dad is Boba Fett. Clearly he gets around to all kind of universes, but it's dope. But he does have a very interesting lore about him. You know what I mean? I think he has one of my favorite villains in Black Manta. Because Black Manta gives him shit, and he's just human. You're like, how's he getting away with that? And that's like his Lex Luthor, because he's always around. It's like you can never get rid of that dude. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, but I'm really would just like to him get some time to do it next week. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Just sit back and go, let me see what he says.
Oh yeah, that would be dope.
Defends it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I would honestly like to hear Show, and if I can, please. Show, I want to hear you defend Iron Man. Yo, my man, that's a give me.
It kind of is. I appreciate you, because Iron Man is the coolest Avenger of them all. I mean, my man is intelligent. He's rich. He has the suit. He has Pepper. Is it Piper?
Pepper. You're right.
Pepper. I had it. Damn, I can't even.
No, you're right. You said Pepper.
Wrong.
You're right. Pepper Potts.
Pepper Potts. You got Pepper.
You got
I feel
salt.
like salt. He got salt.
What up, blue cheese?
Yo.
Yeah, what?
Say he got pepper. You need some salt.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, what more can I say? I mean, he's beloved amongst everybody. I don't think there's anybody that dislikes. Well, I'm lying, because I think Layla, you dislike Iron Man, or is it somebody that always says he's a? There you go. Never mind then. I was gonna state that I don't think there's anybody out there that's gonna dislike Iron Man, but there is, and I would love.
I don't like Iron Man, the comic book character.
Now, Cap, would you like to tell me why you don't like Iron Man?
Oh, it's probably for the same reason. Play. He's an alcoholic, fucking self-aggrandizing asshole who thinks he's way. He thinks he's way more important than he really is, and the only reason he's important now in the comics is because Robert Downey Jr. made a fucking movie about him. That's the only reason people give a shit about him now.
Absolutely correct. Like I said, RDJ is awesome, but the Iron Man in the comic book is such a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like a grandstanding piece of shit. That's what he is, honestly. You know what I mean? And like it, yes, he's intelligent, but he's not the most intelligent person in Marvel. He barely cracking top 5. You know what I mean? In reality, he's barely cracking top 5. You know what I'm saying? But RDJ did a great job, and now he's been. I mean, with all due respect, Cap, Thor, and Iron Man were not top tier like heroes, and then they did the movies, and it's like you know what I'm saying? People would have honestly called them B list, to be real with you, and they you know what I'm saying?
Yo, I actually heard before Iron Man came out, the critics, when they heard that they were making a movie, were saying that Iron Man specifically was a C-list hero with D-tier fucking villains and shit.
Yep, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And it was just in the movie elevated. But if you read his comics enough, you start to realize there's very few redeeming qualities about him.
Yeah, like even characters in the comics hate him.
Yeah, it's like other people put him on a pedestal or like, like, oh, well, he has this quality. Yeah, but for every one you name, I can name you 6 that make him a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
It's funny. I always favored War Machine over Iron Man.
No, because James Rhodes is a stand-up fucking guy.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. You know what I mean? He's literally like, if I'm going to pick between both of them, I'm be like, yo, I'd rather have James Rhodes on my side any day of the week. Oh, yeah. I can depend on him. You know what I mean? To make it's like Cap said in the movie, you're never gonna make the choice like that. You make it 1 out of 10 times, James will make it 10 out of 10 times. You know what I mean?
Damn. Full circle.
Yep.
Fucking War Machine. Didn't Vision hit him with a fucking ray when he missed? See? Full circle, baby. Bring it right back to Vision.
Yep.
Yeah. I got somebody for Lay or for toe tags. Which one of you guys wanted? Because one of them honestly was supposed to be for show, but I'm gonna give it to toe tag because it'd probably be equally as funny to watch him be like, "What?"
Oh, give it a toe. I'm with it. Give it a toe.
But before I do that, I just want to say, Lay, I had one that I picked specifically for you because I in the car with Toe this morning, I was like, yeah, I'm surprised Lay wouldn't have picked this person. But Toe, I want you to defend Namor, the Submariner, the superhero. I'm gonna give you a little bit about him. The superhero who doesn't really give a shit about people on land, only cares about Atlantis, has some weird fucking obsession with Sue Storm. He's really forceful with her, despite the fact that she does not want him at all. I don't even think there's ever been like a true tease that they were together. It's always been like a forced thing with him. He's the worst part of the Illuminati. He's always been more respected from a reader standpoint and from a writer standpoint than Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
But he's always been the least important fucking person in Marvel.
Okay.
So here's another fun fact. He's technically like the first mutant that they printed.
Yeah.
Because he's a mutant. He's a mutant. It's hilarious. You know, like they say like that Apocalypse is the first mutant in the races. He's the first mutant that you've seen on thing.
Yeah. And on top of that, the X-Men want nothing to do with his ass.
Yes. So, nobody claims him. Nobody claims him.
So, go ahead and defend Namor, the Submariner.
All right.
I'll be right back.
So, the little bit I know about Namor, is that, like you said, he's the ruler of Atlantis, kind of similar to Aquaman. He's Marvel's version of Aquaman. And one of the things that I've seen about him, and it could be fan theory, but it was one of those that when the Eternals came to this planet, they tried to uh, they tried to take over the planet, and Namor and his people were like defending themselves against them, and that's what sank Atlantis, and all of his people turned into the underwater dwellers, and they just ruled over there, and that's why they didn't want no piece of the land dwellers, because no one helped them out when they were defending their own against the Eternals. And they said, fuck these people, you left us here to die, we adapted, and we're not gonna stay here like that. Am I right on that part or no?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Okay. So the fact that Namor and his people were strong enough to at least hold their own against the Eternals, and then adapt to being underwater life civilians, and keep the land of Atlantis going underwater while it was basically flooded out and destroyed by the Eternals and all that. I think that's pretty dope. Just the willpower of his people and him as a leader to keep that shit running is kind of dope. And that fact, it's almost kind of like their Wakanda, which also he goes to war with the Black Panther and Wakanda for the vibranium, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But now he wants to lay claim to the vibranium because that landed on his, like, he had vibranium also, like the meteor landed on his territory or some shit like that.
So I don't know the exact reasoning, but Namor is that arrogant to believe that anything that has ever touched water on Earth belongs to him.
Okay. So, I mean, like, he's strong enough to fight the Eternals, and he has an army strong enough to fight the Wakandans for the vibranium. Now, I was aware that he was obsessed with Sue Storm. I don't know why, but could it be anywhere because he doesn't like Reed Richards?
It's Jessica
No.
Alba, bro. What's wrong with you?
It's true. It's true.
I think it's a tongue-in-cheek reference to like the creature, the Black Lagoon or the Blue Lagoon.
Okay.
Where he saw her and that's the lock right there.
Yeah. And it's one of those things. It's like, he in the MCU, he has the potential to be the thing that unlocks the next phases or the next evolution of the MCU, because just like how Wakanda unlocked all this technology and people that are smarter than Tony Stark. What's going on, LaFlaca? They people that are smarter than Tony Stark, to show that Tony Stark is a genius, but he's nowhere near the level of intellect as someone like Siri, Black Panther's sister in the MCU. So, and it also shows that now if we get the Fantastic Four, because Namor also fights the Fantastic Four, like you said, with that, it also shows Reed Richards could be just as smart as as Siri, or even smarter. And it basically goes, here goes base level Tony Stark and what we could do, and now here goes the Black Panther and the technology we have, and now Namor, a world that we only hear about in fantasy, in legend, because Atlantis is still something that people are looking for. There are real life people out in sea looking for the fucking the land of Atlantis.
The lost city.
Yeah, the lost city of Atlantis. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a legend, and that's something they adopted in the Marvel universe, but also it can bring plenty of other characters, maybe that are not in the comics but could be in the universe, to adopt other characters, like maybe a Dracula or something like that, into the universe. So Namor, the character himself, can be almost an unlimited vessel for the MCU to expand into different different value paths on which they can make TV shows, movies, and comics even if they wanted to, just to to bring the MCU to life further onto stuff like that. And it also shows a different power and a different mentality and a different way of thinking towards how people are in the MCU, because like Cap had a will that we're gonna do what's right, and these are my people, and I'm gonna stand here and I'm willing to die for this. Where T'Challa, it was T'Challa was, I'm here to protect my people and only my people, but he was convinced maybe my people will be better protected if I brought this technology to the rest of the world, and then we were accepted. And Thanos was, I have to protect you against yourself. Where Namor is, fuck all of y'all. I want nothing to do with any of you. But if you fuck with me, I'm killing you. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have a lot of that mentality in the MCU right now.
Sure.
And I think bringing that mentality can bring a darker mentality where Blade and Moon Knight and the Knight, what is it? The Dark Knight, the guy from Game of Thrones is playing?
Black Knight.
Black Knight, can be. And and like I said, that could just be another venue for them. And they threw hints of him in there, so I think this character is beneficial for at least the MCU.
Shit, that's way better than I thought. And to think I was gonna give that to Show.
Hell no. Who the hell is?
I'm kind of upset you did it.
Right?
Hell no.
I know a little bit about a little bit.
I mean, that's probably one of the best ways to introduce Doctor Doom, even because him and Doctor Doom stay going at it. Latveria, Wakanda, and Atlantis are always at war with each other.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Well, because they're two rulers, right? Namor and Doctor Doom are pretty much cut from the same cloth. They rule their own thing with iron fists, and they don't allow outside forces. But they do think that their way of ruling suits the world.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Namor's a little less ruling the world, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all Doctor Doom. He's like, if I could lead my country, I can lead the world.
Yeah.
And then the universe, because the world is not enough. That's right. I reference a terrible James Bond movie.
But technically, it's not, because he ruled Asgard and he turned himself into a god and became bored and said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go back to who I was before." Because at least there was a challenge.
He started Battle World again.
Shit.
That's something that the Beyonders started.
Exactly. He took the Beyonders. And it's funny because in that one, Doctor Strange is his right-hand man.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, him and Reed Richards, they both answer to him.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, Doom was loving the fact that Reed Richards was doing it.
Yeah, word. Real quick, La Flaca, that's what's up. You just came from the Knicks game, right? The Knicks versus
I love the fact that she says Lakers game like the Knicks weren't there.
Yeah. well, in all honesty, you go there for fucking LeBron. The Knicks weren't there. LeBron was shooting on the court.
I thought the Lakers were playing the Nets.
Are they playing the Nets? I don't know.
Could be. I mean, she's just referencing everybody had Knicks jerseys and they were chanting for Melo. So,
somebody on one of my coworkers was happy that she was going to the Barclays Center to watch LeBron James today.
Okay, so it was the Nets then.
The Lakers was in Brooklyn.
To be completely honest, I don't know if this girl knows sports. She's just happy. She was just happy to go see LeBron.
No, they played the Nets tonight. They beat the Nets 106-96. So yeah, they played the Nets. It could have just been a New York thing.
That was Knucklehead Sports Talk.
There you go.
Next caller.
So who are you gonna give the cap? I'm sorry, what?
Huh?
You say you were trying to tell something about something in the card. Who did?
Oh yeah.
You thought I was gonna pick?
Oh yeah. So my person for you, Captain Marvel.
Oh wow! No, well, here's the thing. This is my thing, and I was explaining this to a friend of mine the other day. Right, the classic Captain Marvel, I had no problem with. Is this new version, right? It's almost like you took everything that people dislike about a feminist and you put it into a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. Now, to defend her is one thing. First of all, she's powerful. I'm just gonna get it out there. You know what I mean? Her power set is she's legit, top tier. You want to bring a fight, she can do it. I mean, if you want to take out an army, she can do it by herself. You know what I mean? She does have just like Cyclops, she's a great leader, you know, when she needs to be. You know what I mean? Little headstrong sometimes, like stubborn, you know what I mean? But with most great leaders, that happens a lot. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I have one track mind. This is what I need to do. We need to get it done. You know what I mean? And she did inspire Kamala Khan, which is a great thing for her because her inspiration brought a great character to all of us. You know what I mean? There's kids reading where she's from, even though she's from Jersey. Kamala, I'm sorry. It's just, that's a takeaway. You lose 1 point for that.
That's true, yeah.
This is a character inspiring other kids that look like her to want to read, to want to be something different and special. And they know they can now. They're being represented. We said representation is very important, you know? And then again, she's also a very powerful female lead, and she was the first one to get her own movie. Hence, I don't like the actress who played her at all. I'll tell you right now, all day, you go, fuck her. But it is a powerful female lead, period. Even if it's just a glorified Green Lantern movie. But it is that. It's still, and it made enough money we can get a new one, the Marvels, where we have 3 powerful female leads. So, you know, keeping that trend, and then one of them is Kamala, and the other one is an African American young woman. So, you know, we're getting that progress slowly. You know what I mean? So that's the way I can defend her easily. It's a powerful character that's a woman that's introducing more powerful characters that are women, but that are also showing more representation for everyone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The same way some kids saw Black Panther and then saw Wakanda and saw all these aspiring people, except for Michael B. Jordan and his Drake version. They said everybody else, you know what I mean? It's a great thing to see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can defend her with that. I was like, yo, powerful character and doing great things for more characters. And another thing is we get more interstellar movies. And in case you know what that means space. We get more space stories. And when you get space, you get guys like Nova. You can get the Beyonders, who we reference when Doom got those powers. He took it from the Beyonder, you know, because he's the one that made Battle World, you know. So you know, you can do that. You know what I mean? And you also get the Skrulls. We can get Hulkling like that to be part of the Young Avengers. So many leads when you go back into space that we only don't need the Guardians of the Galaxy to do it. We have these 3 powerful characters female characters that can do it.
Nice. Well put. Both of you guys. Well put.
But I did my best not to be about her. Split her off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find it funny that you and Cabs, you guys' both takes is that he was like Drake. But if you look at why he was mad at T'Challa, it's literally, you don't call me on my cell phone. Like,
it's pretty much it. Yo, do yourself a favor. You look at the way he's dressed at the very beginning of it, like, you know, when he's in the museum, and look at any Drake video.
Yeah.
And then when Cabs told me like they're friends, I didn't know that, but I see it now. When Cabs said, I was like, oh shit, I never made that connection, bro, because I didn't care.
Yeah.
But he was one of the most sympathetic villains I've ever seen. He is nowhere near Winter Soldier, but I understand, you know. I get it. Like, yo, you killed my pops in front of me. That's pretty fucked up. I get it. You know what I mean? I understand completely. You know what I'm saying? I remember when they were talking about bringing him back, I was like, don't do that. Because you're going to kill whatever he was standing for, you're going to kill it all if you bring him back.
Yeah, because now he's going to be forced to be like, nah, screw it. I'm on your side now.
I was like,
yo, that was my thing with the What If. That's the only time I didn't like Killmonger. Because it's like, yo, Tony, you're supposed to be the smartest person in the room. You can't see through this bullshit. Like Siri saw through it immediately.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, but once again, what me and Cap was talking about, they put him here when he's really not, you know what I mean? Like he should be able to see that. You know what I mean? Like somebody like Reed Richard would never see it because he doesn't have the human contact like that. Like he can't read bullshit. He'll take stuff at face value, like literally. But if you tell that nigga to solve time travel, he'll look at you like, give me 2 minutes, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
There you go. Go, we gotta go. But if you're conning him, he'll go, yeah, I'll buy that. You know what I mean? But Tony works in business. He should know these things. He works deals every day. I'm like, yo, you trying to hustle me, brother? I see it.
You know? I have one question that I didn't think about until just now, till our conversation right now. The shit on the inside of his lip, the Wakandan symbols. How the fuck did he get that? Was he born? Is that something you're born with, or is that something you acquire?
I think his father gave them to him.
He had that glowing ink? Because I thought it was just like only the royal bloodline that has that in their thing. I don't remember them saying specifically that you get it tattooed on there.
Yeah.
I don't recall that, to be honest with you. That's like,
because I just find it weird that you would live that amount of time with that in your lip and not once like, hey, what the fuck is this? Because it seemed like if T'Chaka never showed up at that moment, he would have never did whatever the fuck he did.
Nope.
So he would have never known, because his father was excommunicated. He wasn't gonna fucking go back anyway.
But what
he would have just had that shit in his list of his life.
What did he kill him for? Because he had the kid, or because he was giving vibranium to the other dude?
Because he sold out the country and he was selling vibranium illegally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think he went out there to specifically kill him. I think just in the tussle, he wanted to.
Like his thing was like, yo, you're never coming back. You're done with us. And all of a sudden, they got into something. It was something simple. But yeah, I don't think they ever like really say you get it tatted on there, or is it just because you're part of the bloodline?
Yeah, because
in fact, you could only have the herb, the Hershey herb, if you're part of the bloodline. I have no idea about that tattoo.
Yeah, because when he pulled it, I was just like everybody in that room, like, where the fuck you get that from?
So
that means everybody there has that.
That's another thing. Nobody else turned around and also fucking pulled it down. They just all went, "Oh, he has it." Okay.
I didn't do that. I didn't see him go. I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember them really explaining that. Like, how do you get that? You know what I'm saying? Strange, but those are little details you can gloss over, I guess. By the way, I was not a fan of them killing off Ulysses Claw. He was hilarious.
Yo, he was having so much fun as that character.
Yep.
That's why I enjoyed him so much. Just watching him get to play around in that space. I was like, yo, I want to watch this dude forever.
Yep. He's awesome, man. I mean, he goes, I made it rain. I'm like,
yeah, I don't have the answer of how he got the tattoo, but they do say that all Wakandans have a mark, and iridescent lower lip tattoo that identifies them as descendants of the nation. So it could have just been that his father tattooed him to show that he is Wakandan.
You know what? I have a weird theory that I don't think is ever going to play out, and it might not actually make sense. But what's his name? Shit. I forgot the name of the character, but Black Panther's girlfriend, for lack of a better term. You know how
Yeah,
she was
okay, I
doing
know.
shit outside of the country.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She could have been the one who gave that to him.
That's true. Yeah, because she was on a spy mission, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then not, what do you call it? Gave it to him because of the story and all that, and he could have fed her some bullshit about how he's just trying to get back home. And then just lie about it. Like, oh, I have this.
Nakia.
Because there's no way in hell
Yeah.
that motherfucker has had it. Like I said, there's no way he's had it his whole life.
Yeah.
Nakia, I think is her name.
That's her name.
Yeah.
I honestly, it's funny because you mentioned it. I was like, I don't recall them ever like really saying how they get it. And the only people that showed it were like the three, him and the two dudes in the room with Chaka. They did the whole Forrest Whitaker's character and the other guy.
Yeah.
Those are the only people that did that. I didn't see Chala go, I got it too. See? You know what's
We
funny?
all see the tattoo now.
You know what's funny? I remember somebody going that one of their favorite lines is, "Hey, auntie." That shit is so annoying. When he sees thing, I was like, somebody shoot him now.
Honestly, I think that's one of the lines that's like, if you just go past the surface of it, it's probably the most disrespectful line he could have said. Even more disrespectful than just walking up like, "Hey, bitch!" Like,
it's funny because if you know anything, it's like when it's royalty, you don't address the queen pretty much in any sense. You have to like speak to somebody. You know what I mean? And nobody knew who he was yet. I'd have been on some like, kill him now, get rid of him.
Yeah, right.
Let's go. Why are we thinking about this?
If he would have went to Zamunda, they'd have killed his ass. That's the fucking fact.
Zamunda, the original Wakanda.
Word.
The original Wakanda.
Yeah, the Zamundas don't play that shit.
I remember when I was a kid and I saw Coming to America, and when he goes, "Hello, Babar," I was like, I used to love that cartoon. Elephants dressed as royalty. I used to love that. I used to go, damn. I try to watch it now, and I was like, doesn't hold up. Not good.
Yo, there's a ton of shit that as kids. Yo, this is why when people are like, "Oh, kids are so intelligent nowadays," I'm like, no, they're not. Like, look at what the fuck they watching. They're not. They're just as dumb as we were.
Yeah. See, like even though those PSAs at the end of the shows, I was like, I'm not either that dumb shit I actually did. I'm saying don't play with fire. Too late. I learned the hard way, brother.
Yeah. How you gonna tell us not to play with fire? But every cool thing we've ever seen has something to do with fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
Yo, so I have a character for Cap to Cap to defend.
Cool.
And it's a weird character, but it's something that I'm pretty sure a show and I can learn off of. And I want Cap to defend Spider Pig.
Spider Pig.
Or Spider Ham.
Spider Pig, Spider Ham, whatever his fucking real name is.
There's a difference. Am I defending Spider Ham or am I defending Spider Pig from The Simpsons?
Spider Ham.
You're defending Peter Porker.
Yes. Spider Ham.
So, all right. Give me a context in which I would have to defend him.
Okay, I'll give you.
There you go.
How about this one? How about the continued use of this character, but using him, let's say, in the sense of you could use him in the MCU, kind of like Howard the Duck, but not in the Spider-Verse. Him actually showing up in either one of the Spider-Mans, and it making sense. You know what I mean?
Okay, got it. Here we go. So Spider-Ham comes from universe or one of the worlds within Marvel one of the multiverses that is anthropomorphic, which means they have animals that have human-like qualities. So every character in there is represented in some form of an animal shape. And Peter Porker is just their version of Spider-Man. They call him Spider-Ham for obvious reasons. And here's how you can defend him. Doctor Strange is going into a multiverse of madness. One of the trips that America Chavez can go into, because she has the ability to literally punch holes in dimensions. As she's looking for Doctor Strange to help her figure out this whole conundrum, one of the worlds she can go into is Spider-Ham. And they could be a funny little thing where she's like, what the fuck? It's a pig talking. And he could be like, what the hell are you? Because he's never seen a human.
Yeah.
And that could be a fun little nod to get the character in.
Mm-hmm.
It won't detract much to the story because this would be early on in the film before we get to all the serious shit and what I was hoping would be more horror tones, but it doesn't seem to be horror. It just seems to be more a slightly darker MCU shit.
It's funny because Moon Knight seems more horror than that. When Kenshu was chasing him, I was like, but I mean, we haven't seen much.
Yeah,
but yeah, I get
it. That's the easiest way. That's the easiest way to bring him in. And on top of that, it does much like Howard the Duck. You bring him in, you show him. It's a funny little clip, but you don't really have to do shit beyond that. Like he doesn't. We know he exists, and if there's a funny way later on down the line to bring him in for something, or like one of those stupid after credit scenes, cool. But you get your fill of him. You do it in a way that doesn't detract from anything. And again, you don't have to put him out there. It's kind of like Gator Loki.
Okay.
You see him, he's cool, but we don't need a fucking movie about him, or he doesn't need to be in anything else. We got him. Done deal.
I would like to see like a post-credit scene where he's swinging and he's still going, what the hell was that? Like, I have no idea what was that. He's on some, what's an American Chavez? And he's just swinging.
Yo, it would be, so if we can get back to a time where the end credit scenes didn't have to tie into shit and we could just have fun with it, it'd be super cool for America Chavez to run into him. They had their little exchange. They go back, and then an end credit scene where you see Spider-Ham talking to someone. And he's like, yo, you get a load of the chick that came through with those weird-ass star powers? She punched a star and just showed up. And then they pull the camera back, and it's Deadpool. And Deadpool's talking to him like, yep, thanks a lot, Pete. I'm out. And then he just calls for the credits to roll or the editor to edit him out of the scene or some shit. And they can just play off the fact that they break the fourth wall and it's a kooky-ass thing. And again, another way to sneak Deadpool into the MCU without actually disrupting anything before he's officially put in.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because it would be Deadpool to talk to him. You imagine he goes, I wonder what you're like in human form. What's human? Good question. Because, Deadpool and Peter Parker are like.
Yeah.
You can even have Deadpool make the joke. He'd be like, yo, if you were human, I guarantee your name would be Peter Parker.
That'd be something.
Yeah. That's an interesting way of doing it, yeah. Saying. Because somebody would be like, once they see Spider-Ham, they'd be like, oh, he needs his own series. No, he doesn't. Just take it at what it is. Stop doing that.
No, but you know what you can do? We have Disney Plus, we have Hulu, whatever. If they show them up and people like them so much, give him an animated series. Let him fucking do some shit on his own so people can have it and they got their fix.
I would love to see Dr. Octopus as his villain. Just sit there and go, yeah, that's about right.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, before we just a little sidetrack. So you know how Doc Ock was Superior Spider-Man, and he took over the body of a clone Spider. Doc Ock has done it again, and he has now his Superior 4, where he has his own version of Ghost Rider, Wolverine, the Hulk, and another fucking character. I forget who it is, but he's got his own 4, in which he's somehow piloting all 4.
Wow.
How the fuck he do that?
Yeah, dude, I don't no fucking clue.
That's crazy.
But you know what happened is Marvel the what do you call it? The article I was reading was less about the actual comic and more about how Marvel found something that worked and is shamefully trying to just wring it for all it's worth.
That's Marvel's go-to. They said, all right, this worked once, let's destroy this completely.
Yeah, right.
I'm saying they did that King and that King Black thing, or the Null thing. They're still going to go back to that like in a year to absolutely murder it. Where Eddie Brock loses the fact that he leads the symbiotes.
Either that or somebody else is going to try to challenge him for the title. And
absolutely correct.
Yo, I can see it now. The flashy headline: "There's a new King in Black."
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And the funny thing, that had such a good run by itself. If you read it, you go, now we can never go back to it and leave it alone. But not Marvel. No, sir. No. That's just stupid.
You know something, though? That's partially Marvel running out of ideas and trying to do some shit. But that's also partially our fault as fans, because fans only gravitate to a certain shit.
True.
It's not like back in the day where you put out a comic, we will read a comic. Now it's the fucking 6-second TikTok crowd. It's like, if you don't, like Krills, if you don't catch him in the first 5 minutes or 5 seconds, he's out.
Yep, absolutely. It's funny because the thing I've never liked is when you have one character that has 4 different comics.
Yeah.
Why does Batman have 4 different comics going on at once? I'm reading 2 of them, right? And I finished one. I'm like, all right. And then I read another one, and it's like Batman in the future, then Batman in Europe. And I'm like, why so much Batman? I love Batman myself, but I'm like, yo, can we have one comic that that's it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like there could have been like 3 or 4 issues where he's in Europe. He don't need to be in Europe
Yeah,
the
like
whole
he can through his whole storyline, he can go through it.
Yeah.
Because time travel, everybody can do it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, why is there Batman in the future that has absolutely no money, and then in Europe, he's in Europe in a fucking bat semi truck, and now he has Batman International, like plugs everywhere. And meanwhile, in the future, he's broke. He's working out of a basement.
Yeah, because International didn't work.
Apparently something went wrong. And then in another comic, somewhere else, Nightwing has inherited all of Alfred's money. Alfred had billions apparently and left it all to Dick. And in this one, I believe Batman's dead. I believe Batman's dead. So he is like trying to, do all this thing with the money. And I'm like, what? It's all the same characters, the same people. But in the future one, Nightwing is there and he's 30. He's young. And I'm like,
dude, I want somebody to look this up to see what came first, because Captain America died, right? And before he came back, it was told that he didn't actually fully die. It's Red Skull was holding his body in a state of suspended animation, and his mind was reliving all of his events.
Mm-hmm.
So he was going chronologically all the way from World War II all the way back up until he freed himself and came back, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Then Batman died, and he didn't really die. He was just transported directly into time and was fighting his way through time. So he was a dinosaur fighter. He was a fucking pirate in the fucking Middle Ages. He was a knight, and he was just working his way back up to time. And I want to find out which one did it first, because for somebody saw that and was like, "Oh, we're just gonna do that again."
So copy and paste. And it's that whole thing like, yo, listen, copy my homework, but do it differently. No. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. I never get the comic book thing. It's like one character has 3 different comics going at once. I'm like, which one is the real Batman? They're all called Bruce Wayne, but they're all happening at the same time.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's everybody's has. This is the one thing about comics that I've never liked. I've never liked the inability to keep characters dead if you say they died, and the inability to make new characters. 70 years of Batman. Cool. We don't need, like you said, we don't need 4 books of that. How about Swamp Thing gets one? How about Animal Man? How about fucking Booster Gold? How about you build up somebody else so that you have an entire roster, so that if you want to make movies, you don't have to rely on Michael Keaton and Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher, Christopher Nolan, Matt Reeves, and everybody taking a million shots at fucking Batman. You have other characters.
Yeah, here's a funny part, right? You're coming out with a Blue Beetle movie, right? Eventually, right? They got the cast, they got everybody, right? Why doesn't the Blue Beetle have his own comic going right now?
Yeah,
it could lead right into the movie. And then, you know, what's funny, as you're doing that, you introduce Booster Gold, because they have like this budding thing. And he can, because apparently the movie's going to go straight to HBO Max, right? Booster Gold can be introduced at the end of it on some Deadpool shit. Like, who the hell are you? I'm Booster Gold, the superhero of the future. Who? End scene right there. Booster Gold is in the next one. Like, you see Robbie Ray is like, who? The hell are you? I'm just saying. And the thing is, in the comic, and then what you do with the comic book after that movie, you follow that into the next one. All you got to do, whatever. I don't know.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, Captain America died in 2007, and Batman: Legends of the Dark Knight number 65 came out in 1994, and that's when the Joker killed him.
So Batman did it first.
No, so that's not the run I'm talking about, because the Batman run was in the 2000s somewhere, where he had to travel through time. Because I think it preceded the whole Batman Inc.
Okay,
while he was away, some Dick Grayson became Batman. Then somebody popped up in Japan. Then somebody popped up in Africa.
So there's a Legends of the Dark Knight issue number 65 that came out 2012 to 2015. Is that what you were talking about? Is what?
Dude, if you look up, this is I don't have my phone, but if you look up like Pirate Batman and find out what issue, I shit you not. He's literally a fucking pirate.
Remember. It's funny. I remember something of that, but you know what I really remember it from? Batman: Brave and the Bold. And by the way, that one was fun. Never took it seriously, but it was pretty fun. But I know what you're talking about. That he literally every variation of Batman. Somehow Batman was everywhere. He was a caveman. He was a swashbuckler. They even referenced the thing where he's like Sherlock Holmes at one point. Yeah, the steampunk one, the gaslight one. I'm like, what? What are we doing? I was like, yo, if he becomes a hippie, I'm gonna get upset. Batman smoking weed.
Very nice.
You got the bat bong. Let's hit this.
Here,
The Joker
Alfred.
sitting at Woodstock.
Oh, hey, right.
I can see the panel now. Him and the Joker sitting at Woodstock smoking, and the Joker be like, "Well, Bats, I told you the Grateful Dead was good," and it's just Harley Quinn like dancing in the fucking foreground.
I can definitely see that. You know what I'm saying? And somehow it's the bat suit, but like in hippie clothes. You're like,
No, you know what it is? He's wearing tie dye, except for the bat symbol in the middle.
exactly. Yeah. Oh man, I imagine
And he
in the
just
70s.
has a bandana.
In the 70s, there had to be some kind of cocaine reference. Like Bane goes, "Oh, I got that stuff. I know you do, Bane. I know you do, brother. Let me get the line of that venom."
Yo, real quick, I want to hear Show defend Thanos. The MCU Thanos. I want to see him defend him snapping half the universal. Oh, wait.
Oh, okay. I'm with
It
that.
was inedible.
Yeah, you can't eat
Inedible?
that.
It was an edible.
Bruh.
Did you just go with my whole weed reference?
What is it to defend? He's the strongest villain of all MCU. He the only man to defeat the Avengers. I'm lying. In the comic
Not
book.
true. Baron Zemo.
Yeah. But did he do that in the movies?
Civil War, he tore him apart
Yeah, he did.
without ever having to throw a punch.
Nope.
Damn. All right. Fuck it.
And he's a hell of a dancer.
Oh, yeah.
Smooth. I want to see more
Oh
Zemo.
man. Yeah, it's hard to defend them though, because
Defending his snap.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You see, you ain't let me cut in. It's hard to defend the snap itself. I mean, it was vastly to impress a woman. He got rid of half of the population. I don't think that, man.
Well, I was talking about in the
Listen,
MCU, but we could do the comics if you want.
What was the reason? So it was a different reason in the movies.
Yeah.
Were you not paying attention?
I was paying attention. I thought it.
So there was overpopulation, and they were using way more resources than they had, or they were actually using resources more quickly than they can replenish them. So his plan was to kill half of the people, thus having more resources, and actually teaching people a lesson as to not use so many resources so quickly, and hope to bring a balance. That's his
Damn.
plan in a nutshell.
And that's why
So-
it's edible.
So Thanos was kind of like COVID. Got it. Yikes. You could
Kinda
edit
like
that
who?
out. I say Thanos was kind of like COVID. Ooh, conspiracy theory. Too many people. Gotta get rid of them.
What?
I said conspiracy theory. Don't
All
mind
right,
me.
well,
That's how
one
my
way to look
brain
at it.
works. That's how I looked at COVID at the beginning. I thought we were getting overpopulated, and it was the government's way of fixing the problem without
So-
people knowing.
Well, I can believe that because the government said that somebody fucked a monkey and came back with AIDS. So
So
why not eat a bat?
COVID and Thanos are the same thing.
Yeah. COVID snapped.
The COVID is the snap. We need to fix the world.
Okay.
We need to get rid of half of the population. Too much pollution. Too many vehicles. Anyways.
And the vaccine of the Infinity Rings.
So then the vaccine is Iron Man.
Yes.
Correct.
Oh, actually, the Hulk. To be honest with you, because the Hulk brought everybody back.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we just need Iron Man to snap the fucking COVID away.
Absolutely correct. Yes, there it is. There it is. There it is. There you go. Show. That's how we make logic of what you just said.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're welcome.
So, sure. Here's an easier task for you. How about you pick a character that you think is difficult to defend, regardless if it is or not. Just whoever you think is difficult to defend, and you give one to each of us.
You know what? How about I give you the same guy? Maybe I could defend them at the same time because
Hold on,
the
you
one
can't
guy.
think of three people.
Nah, it's the one guy that everybody skipped around. The asshole, Mr. Star of the Night, Mr. Star Lord. Is there a way to defend this guy? I mean, it was his wife, his woman,
You're gonna defend him and then
and he
want us to
killed.
defend him?
No, I'm just starting. It was his woman, man, and he killed her. And this is the only chance I got to talk to him face to face, bro. While Mantis is holding him. You never
So
lost your temper.
you want us to defend Star Lord?
Yeah.
No, I think he wants to defend Star
No,
Lord,
no,
but
no.
That's
just
what it sounds like.
I
I'm
defended
lost right now.
Little.
because Lay, I swear to God, I heard Lay, do me a favor, defend Howard the Duck, the man that fucks women on the regular, that came to fight Thanos when he
I
snapped
could
out the
defend Howard
finger.
the Duck with one phrase.
Like my
Howard
man,
the Duck movie.
yeah,
Hello.
but my man said, "I
He
want
was
you
the
to
first
defend
Marvel
this guy,"
movie
and
out
then
there,
gave
brother.
all the points. The
That's
first Marvel
I'm like,
movie, yeah.
I think you defended him enough for everybody. Right? You could think of three people. Seriously, really?
Can I think of?
Have we not
I
imparted?
could think.
We not impart this much knowledge to you of comics?
I think I could think of three people. Three people that need to be defended. Or
The only thing he learned from us, Lay, is that we have the best directing, the cinematography that we say is awesome.
Uh-huh.
For the
Cap
culture.
uses big words, and someone has a synopsis on their face.
At the end of the day, it's all phenomenal.
Yeah, it's for the culture, Joe.
It's for the culture. I believe I could give you three people. That's not that bad.
And to
Uh,
make
we
it
got
easier,
3 minutes.
First
3
look them up.
minutes. All right. So one person a minute. I like it. That's simple. We're gonna start off. I'm gonna give you Hawkeye to begin with.
You have to give it to somebody.
I'm gonna give Hawkeye to Toe since it's the easier one.
All right.
I didn't see that one coming. That's a good one.
All right. Well, first off, Hawkeye is the greatest archer in the world. He learned from Shang-Chi and Cap on how to fight. Well, he learned from Cap and the swordsman on how to fight with the sword. So he's multifaceted when it comes to weapons. He's a tactical genius. He works for Shield, so he's almost like a secret agent. And he's a human that can defend himself on a levels Avenger threat, which is not bank robberies and just regular people with guns doing shit. These are aliens. These are superhuman powered people. These are people like Thanos. He has no problem going, you need me to fight the fight, I'll fight the fight. He was Captain America at one point. He took up the mantle of Captain America. He's an inspiration to a lot of the young Avengers. He's an original Avenger. He's up there with the fighting ability of Wanda. He's just, if you don't respect him for the shit that he did in the MCU, you gotta respect him for the shit that he's doing in the comics, because he's not like Batman. He's a regular man with a bow and arrow fighting aliens and fighting mega level threats. And that's
Good
enough
job.
said.
Yeah, if I cut out, it's because my phone died.
All right. So let me give the before he cuts out to you, Cap. I'm gonna give you Quicksilver.
Ooh, okay. So Quicksilver is one of the first characters to actually go from villain to hero, to be inducted into the Avengers, to earn the trust of the Avengers. He's probably the best big brother in all the comics, because there's nothing he won't do to protect Wanda. Like, you ain't getting near Wanda with him around. He is generally regarded as probably one of the best speedsters that Marvel has, even though he himself is not that fast comparatively. So that's something that you got to take into account, where you can get people to admire you so much, even though you're not the top of what you can do. He has two great scenes in the X-Men movies where they show how his speed works. He has an actual fucking great arc in Age of Ultron. Depending, say what you want about that movie, but his arc from where he first meets Hawkeye is like, oh, you didn't see that coming, to where he then saves Hawkeye. Like, that's one of the true best arcs in a Marvel movie. It's self-contained. You feel for him, and you really get to see the impact that he had through WandaVision and through her grieving and wanting to see Pietro. So he's also one of the he's one of those guys that has never, and if he has, it's only been for a few seconds, but even when he's a good guy, he's never really been part of the X-Men. And that's rare for a mutant to not show up on the X-Men side. That's something to be commended. Not to fall into that trap of everybody's got to show up at the mansion at some point. And I'm not talking about the Fox movies, because I'm talking about the comic book version of him.
Very nice. That's a good defense. And last but not least, that's what I said. It's a great defense. To you, Mr. Lay, I'll give you an option. I'll give you the most underrated team of the Avengers, Mantis, or you could have Bucky, your favorite.
No, Bucky's kind of already said, but I'll take Mantis. Depicted in the comics, depicted in the MCU a little way weaker than she really is. Amazing martial artist in the comics. Honestly, one of the better parts of really the original Guardians of the Galaxy, the comic version, with Yondu in it and everything. Honestly, top tier. She gives Gamora a run for her money in the comics. She'll give anybody, when it comes to fighting ability, a run for their money, And I mean, they depicted her really weak and weird in the MCU. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it, because they could have. I don't understand. You already had a badass female as Gamora and Nebula, but you could have had three, and it would have made perfect sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't need to dumb down a character that her skill legitimately is the fact that she has super strength and stuff like that, but her ultimate ability is the fact that she can fight, and she has a tactical mind as well. So that would be my defense of Manta.
So she shouldn't be acting like an exchange, like a Asian exchange student, because that's kind of what she reminded me.
You said that, not me.
There you go.
We're gonna leave that completely alone.
And it seems like Cap's phone died, so we're gonna call it a night. You guys did a hell of a job defending the characters that you don't like, defending characters that off the cuff, and we came up with some impromptu shit. Yeah. And I can't wait for next week when we hear Cabs talk about Aquaman. That's definitely something that we need to hear. I don't know what we're gonna talk about next week, but I do have a list that you and Cap came up with a couple weeks ago that I'll probably run down the list and let you guys know. But for right now, that's it for everybody. It's your funny neighborhood knucklehead signing out. Peace, everyone. Appreciate y'all coming by.